Oh, welcome back, everybody. Here we go. You better all be dancing out there. Hello Rachbot, hello Stringer News 1, hello Charlie Welch, hello the rest of you lovely people, Professor Clive Wells, awesome to see you in the chat.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I am FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Alex Jones did to a record you really don't want to be famous for breaking. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining me for a lovely intellectual I don't know why I pretend to say that. You know exactly how these things goes. Before we get started, I have a little surprise for you. I want to present to you the fruit of my loins. My daughter wants to come and say hi. This is Violet, my little lovely offspring. And she wanted to come and say hello to the live stream before going away and being quite like a good little girl. So say hello to everybody.
Hi.
And Violet, is the Earth flat?
No.
What shape is it?
A spear.
It's a spear. You mean a sphere? Hey, of course you do, honey. Well, why don't you go and play in your bedroom and wait till Mummy gets home in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
I love you. There we go. That's my daughter, everyone. We have Flatzoid on the line. So we're going to get him in now and have a discussion about gravity. It's specifically about gravity today, and whether it is real. These are always fun.
I've been seeing a lot of South Africans join in, so that's quite good. I'm really excited about that.
Hello, Flatzoid. How you doing?
Hi, good in yourself. Good to see, good to chat.
Excellent. How you doing? I know you've been having a hard time over there in South Africa with the power outages and stuff. I hope everything's getting sorted for you.
Yeah, it's not too bad at the moment. I've at least, some of my supporters have generously donated some cash to me so I can get a system. I should be able to get Saturday to actually go get the system so I can set it up, so I can go totally off-grid.
So you're getting like an uninterruptible power supply type thing?
Yeah, I'm going to look at an inverter setup and stuff that I can upgrade to solar panels. So
Excellent.
I can let it charge through the power while power's on, and then when the power's off, I just run through the battery.
Well, that's something that I can definitely get behind. Despite your thoughts on the shape of the Earth and whatever else, that's a good thing to be doing. Flatzoid, thank you very much for taking the time to debate me once again. I know these things can get heated and stuff, but I think you and I have a decent enough rapport that we can have the heated discussion without it getting unfriendly. Don't you agree?
Definitely, and like we said, we don't take anything personal. We're
No.
all just for it in the game.
No, I can call you a fucking idiot, and you're just going to take it in your stride, aren't you? I'm looking forward to getting nice sound clips for your episodes of Flerfs are Idiots during this debate. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to enjoy this. I mean, we were going to do this last night, but unfortunately my Wi-Fi has been off for 2 days, so I'm just happy. It literally came on at like 9:15 last night.
Yeah.
So I did a little just chill stream just so I could get something out.
That's
yeah.
fine. I know that you have been having issues, and I appreciate you taking the time that you do have to talk to me. You know, there's a lot of people on your side that are far too afraid to step outside and, you know, even stream on their channel whilst talking to others. So, you know, I do give you props for doing that. So, you know, it's awesome. Gravity.
Yeah, gravity. Does it exist?
Absolutely 100%. I'm assuming your position is it does not.
Definitely no, it does not exist. Would you have any evidence for it existing?
Well, we can measure it. We can predict and test it. We use it in engineering. It's included in calculations for buoyancy. You know, gravity is one of the most empirically demonstrated facts of the universe, I would say. There's many things that gravity does that nothing else can explain. So, you know, I've measured, as a part of my physics degree, measuring gravity and, you know, deriving the universal gravitational constant was something that I personally did, as well as everybody else who's ever done a physics degree. So, you know, I've got no doubt in my mind that something I can measure actually exists.
Cool. What is gravity actually?
Well, the easiest way to describe it is an apparent attractive force between masses.
But you do agree that gravity is not a force, though?
Gravity creates a force, is the best way to, you know, get around that particular semantics argument. You know, we all know that gravity isn't a force in the same way that an engine of a car isn't a force, but both of them create a force. So, you know, when we say the gravitational force, we mean the force created by gravity.
But doesn't gravity have to be physical to create the force, though?
What do you mean by physical?
Can you have something that's not physical creating a force?
Well, what is a force?
It's an acceleration. Obviously, it's vector-based.
Well, you said it's an acceleration. That's part of it. What's the other?
Acceleration is due to a force, but I'm saying it's vector.
But you know, what is the literal definition of force? If you were to have to, you know, write down a calculation to figure out a force, what are the two variables that you need in that?
You tell me.
Well, mass and acceleration. That's how you calculate what a force is.
What's mass?
The amount of matter in something.
No, but what is mass?
Well, mass is, you know, what stuff is. Mass is, you know, a measure of how much something is. You know, we can say this weight is 1 kilogram of mass of iron. You know, that's the measure of how much of iron it is. There's 1 kilogram of mass.
Of inertia.
The best way to, in physics, the best way to describe it would be a measure of resistance to inertia, if that makes sense. So would you agree with that? That mass is a way of measuring a resistance to inertia?
I don't know, but that's the same as being inertia, because inertia is the resistance of change to motion.
Right, yes. So we agree that mass can literally be defined as a measure of resistance to inertia that we give a unit of grams to, you know. So, you know, 1 kilogram of something is always going to be 1 kilogram of something, no matter where it is. And then, you know, the force that's applied to that will be different depending on how much acceleration is applied. You know, that's literally what a force is. So that's what we mean when we say a gravitational force, is that there is an acceleration acting upon a mass. And, you know, the mass being the measure of resistance to inertia, we can then use that and the acceleration that's acting upon it to find the force. That's just what a force is.
The mass creates its own force. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. Mass times acceleration creates a force. If you've got a mass and that mass is under acceleration, there is a force, because F equals ma.
And gravity is not a force, so you cannot have acceleration. That's the whole point.
Well, gravity is an acceleration. That's, you know, gravity is what causes the acceleration, and then, you know, you have the acceleration acting upon the mass, which gives us the force. The force created by gravity.
You just said mass is accelerated. Gravity causes.
No. I said mass times acceleration equals force. Do we agree with that basic concept, Flatzoid, that mass times acceleration equals force? Yeah. Do we agree with that basic concept? F equals ma.
Take the force to, yes, a force to make mass accelerate. I agree. But like I'm saying, gravity is not a force, so it can't cause
creates a
anything
force.
to accelerate.
Gravity creates the force. We know this.
Explain to me what is gravity so it can create a force.
It's an apparent attractive force between all masses. That's I don't really need to get into exactly what it is to prove or to sorry, not prove. Hold on. It's whether gravity is real, not whether I can define it down to the most accurate meaning. That's not what it is. To demonstrate that gravity is real, I simply have to be able to measure it, and that's it. I don't have to define it to show that it's real. The same way that I could, show you that an electromagnetic field is a real thing without knowing exactly what it is. You don't have to know or explain exactly what it is to know that there's something going on there. We know that there is an apparent attractive force between all masses that is proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the masses. This is just an empirical fact.
And this is all based on what?
Measurements.
What measurements? Where did you measure these measurements?
Well, I performed a torsion bar gravity experiment, same as every physician in the world. Very similar to a Cavendish experiment, yeah.
Cavendish is not an experiment.
Well, absolutely is. Whether you say it's not an experiment, it doesn't matter because it absolutely is an experiment.
It's the IV for Cavendish.
What's the... See, here we go. This is where you just go around the IV roundabout because I tell you that the IV is distance, but you say distance can't cause anything. So, that's because you guys... Even though your mantra is, what's the IV, the scientific method, you don't actually have any clue what an IV is because... In the Cavendish experiment, the IV is the distance between the masses. That's it. And the dV is the apparent deflection. So you manipulate the distance between the masses and you measure the apparent deflection of the bar on the torsion wire. That's it. IV, dV. No, the IV in the experiment is distance. Nobody said that the IV is gravity. That is you attempting to put words in the mouths of people whilst demonstrating that you don't actually know what an experiment is yourself. Because the IV isn't what you're, the thing. The IV is just something in the experiment to demonstrate there's a cause-effect relationship. So in the Cavendish experiment, specifically, the cause of the movement of the torsion bar is the distance between the masses.
Not gravity.
Sorry?
So not gravity, it's distance then.
Well, of course, the experiment is based on the prediction, and you've gone straight to, there's an experiment without asking what the prediction would be.
Point out, it's not an experiment. You don't.
Well, it is an experiment because it actually matches the things that you. I've never contradicted myself. No, I've not said it's gravity. These are words that you're saying. So. The experiment would be based on the prediction. You're kind of working backwards here, obviously, through the Flerf mantra of the scientific method. So what comes before experiment in the scientific method is prediction. And what becomes before the prediction is obviously the hypothesis. So all these things can happen.
Observe. Let's start at step one. Observe.
Okay. You want to go back to high school? That's absolutely fine. So, what's an observation? My observation is that when I pick up this earring that my wife wears, cool, isn't it? I had this 3D printed by a fan. And when I let it go, it accelerates towards my hand at about 9.8 meters per second squared. Can we all agree that that's an observation that I've just made?
Yeah, something
excellent
because it's and a medium around it. Yes.
Well, no. Wait, you're putting. Well, that's not my hypothesis. That's things that you would say. I've simply made an observation, and do we all agree? The observation of when I let this go, not just full, right? When I let this go, it accelerates to. No. Listen. When I let this go, it accelerates towards my hand at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. Not falls, it accelerates, right?
Does things start at terminal velocity or
wait, no, hold on. You're totally skipping around. You know, we stick to one thing at a time. You wanted to do the whole scientific method
acceleration.
mantra thing, so we'll do it one step at a time. And do we all
Acceleration.
agree? Do we all agree that I have observed that when I let go of this earring, it accelerates towards my hand at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared? Is that an agreement that we can have? Yes.
Falls towards you.
It accelerates. Do we-
You haven't even got to acceleration. You haven't got to
Wait.
9.8 meters squared yet.
Wait,
You
are
literally
you?
just-
Hold on, Flatzoid. Wait. Let me. Maybe
started-
you're not
listen,
like when I let go of this, it accelerates towards my hand. That is my observation. I am literally observing it. I am literally observing that the second I let go of this. Wait, let me finish my point, please. The second that I let go of this, it accelerates towards my hand. Accelerates. The second I let go of it, it accelerates towards my hand at 9.8 meters per second squared. Boom.
What's
That's my
acceleration?
observation.
What's acceleration, Craig?
Change in velocity over time.
Okay, thank you. So nothing starts at terminal velocity. It literally starts at 0.
No one said
and
anything
has
about terminal velocity, right?
to- Okay.
I am
why
observing
acceleration-
an acceleration the second that I let go of this. Not moving, moving. That's an acceleration. I am observing an acceleration. Are you disagreeing with me that I am observing an acceleration?
No, I'm disagreeing with your correlation to why.
I haven't made any correlation. I have made 0 correlations so far. I have simply made an observation. Yeah, because it's accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared.
that's correlation.
There's no correlation. That is the speed of acceleration. That's an observation.
Remember, we started with step 1. You
Yes.
picked up the earring, you dropped it. Okay, that's it. You saw it falling.
No,
That is
again.
the observation.
No, my
You
observation is I
making-
saw it
you making
accelerate.
claims-
Wait,
you
no.
making claims accelerate at 9.8 meters squared is already skipping to other steps. It's you already correlating.
Okay, no. Once again, I observe an acceleration. Literally, I observe an acceleration. I'm not skipping any steps. I am watching this accelerate at 9.8 meters per second squared towards my hand the second I let it go. I'm not skipping any steps. Right, here we go. Right, here, I'm going to do the observation again. I let it go. Well, the
How do you
second
know
that,
it's 9.8
the
meters per
second
second squared?
that I let it go, well, because I've actually measured that, the acceleration during
No, you
physics
just
classes as
observe
well.
picking it up and dropping it. That's
Yeah,
observed
but
acceleration.
This
You
is
adding 9.8 meters second squared is you already predetermining what's going
no.
on.
I'm not predetermining it. That's literally the acceleration. That is literally the speed of acceleration that's happening
Is that in a vacuum or in atmospheric conditions?
in my hand right now.
So it's in atmospheric conditions.
Maybe you don't know what the word observation means. I'm really confused as to how you're not getting this. Let me just try it once more.
Acceleration in a vacuum, or is it in atmospheric conditions? Correct.
I am watching it accelerate at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared right now. The second that I let it go, it did it again.
So then, what happens if you pick up a feather? Does it fall at a different rate?
Yes, but I'm not using a feather.
Oh, so
I
it's
am
not
making
9.8
this
meters
observation.
squared then.
Why are you changing my observation?
We haven't even got anywhere yet.
Yeah, because you keep trying to change my observation. Nobody here can disagree with the fact that when I let this earring go, it accelerates towards my hand at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. Now, I have previously determined that things accelerate at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. So I know that that's the acceleration that happens. So that I am observing that fact. I am observing an acceleration of approximately 9.8 meters per second squared as soon as I let this go. That is an observation. Nobody in the world can deny that is an observation. There we go. I've just observed it again.
The next point. Okay,
Right.
move on.
So-
Can get anywhere.
Hypothesis. Right? You want me to give a hypothesis now, correct?
Yeah, please do.
Are you going to change my hypothesis once I give it? Because that's what I predict will happen.
No, go ahead. Do your hypothesis.
Okay. Well, I as the hypothesis is a tentative guess based on, knowledge and experience and stuff. I'm going to hypothesize that the reason that's happening is because there's some kind of attractive force between masses.
Attractive force.
Yeah. some kind of attractive force between masses. That's my hypothesis, that there is some kind of attractive force between masses that seems to be dependent on the size of the masses and the distance between the masses. That's my hypothesis. A tentative guess based on the knowledge that I have. Okay? Do we all agree that I have hypothesized something? That I have made a hypothesis that the reason I observed that is because there is an apparent attractive force between this mass and the big mass of the Earth. That's my hypothesis. It's simple. Agreed? Everybody? In the chat, do we all agree with that? Yep. Brilliant.
First of all, you're making an assumption that there is two masses and it only goes
yeah,
down.
cool. Hypotheses are absolutely assumptions. There's no problem there.
Okay. For second rule, you say attractive forces between masses.
Yeah.
What masses exactly are you attributing these forces to?
My hypothesis didn't mention. My hypothesis is simply the reason that attractive force. Yeah, hold on. Maybe you didn't hear.
You want the cause of attraction. That's what the hypothesis is there for. So, what is the cause? You just said it attracts.
Yeah,
between two masses.
Exactly.
So
and then what was the next thing I said, Flatzoid? What was the thing I said after that?
Is attraction your IV?
No. What was the things I said after that? Maybe you didn't hear.
You said attractive force between masses.
Yeah, and then what was the thing I said after that?
Is attractive force.
No, you're just putting words in my mouth once again because you don't know what an IV is.
Attractive forces between masses. That was your IV.
No, it wasn't. No, that wasn't my IV at all.
Okay, let's start again.
You're making things up. You didn't listen to my entire hypothesis clearly, did you? Because my entire hypothesis also included wait, you need to listen to the entire hypothesis. Because the rest of the hypothesis, which you maybe switched your brain off and forgot to listen to, was that the force appears to be, proportional to the masses, how big the masses are, and the distance between the masses. So, the IV could actually either be the distance or the force, and in fact is both of them.
No,
not the force. Sorry, the distance. I said that wrong. The IV could be the distance or the masses, and in fact is both of them because it is the. Wait, let me finish what I'm saying before you try to correct me incorrectly. The force is dependent on how big the masses are and how close together the masses are. So there's IVs there, things that would be changed to affect the force. So there's my hypothesis. And then what would be the step afterwards? Well, you can say that's not a hypothesis, but you don't understand science. I'm telling you that's my hypothesis. And in fact, that was literally my hypothesis that I used in, my degree to get my first with honours that I got in physics. So unless you are, of course, disagreeing with the, people that actually teach physics, then you don't really have a leg to stand on. That is my hypothesis. My hypothesis is there is an apparent attractive force between masses that is dependent on how big the masses are and how close together the masses are. Simple.
Remember, all you did was you picked up an object, in this case your keyring. You dropped it.
Yeah, correct. And it accelerated towards my hand at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared.
You made a hypothesis for that now, saying
I just did.
Attractive force between masses, okay?
Yeah, that's my hypothesis, yes. Because you know that a hypothesis is literally an assumption, right? That's what a hypothesis is.
If I'm next to my couch here and I drop it, why is it not going towards the couch? It's a large mass as well. Why is it not doing that?
Well, that's because you haven't actually tested the hypothesis in any way and determined what the apparent force, how much that apparent force would be.
You understand that contradicts your
Absolutely not, because you haven't even asked for my prediction from my hypothesis yet to determine how big that force would be. I have not said, no, it's not. They're very different things. They're literally different things. Hypothesis is not your prediction. They are separate things. Would you like a citation for that?
Okay, let's go this, sir.
No. I asked you a question. Would you like a citation? Wait, I asked you a question. Let's get this done first. Would you like a citation to show that hypothesis and prediction are different things?
Prediction comes after hypothesis, like we said.
Correct.
But
There we go. So I've done my
your
hypothesis. So now can I do
is
my
a
prediction? No. You make a prediction from your hypothesis. Your hypothesis is not your prediction.
This is the same as the last debate. You don't.
Would you like a citation? Right, Flatzoid. Right. Can we get past this point by me giving you a citation to show that the hypothesis and prediction are separate things? If I can provide that citation, can we move on?
I never said they're the same thing, Craig. I just said your hypothesis is a prediction.
No,
Because
your hypothesis is your hypothesis. Your
because what
prediction
I
is your
predict.
prediction.
Okay, so you did not predict when you picked up the earring it will fall to the ground.
No,
Did
I
you
observed
predict
that.
or not?
No, I observed that.
So you predicted the cause, did you not? You said it's an attractive force between masses.
No, my hypothesis, my guess as to why it happened is because there is an
Prediction.
apparent attractive
No.
force. No, that's not a prediction. That's
prediction, what the
that's
cause
an
is for it.
explanation as to why. An explanation is not a prediction. It's an explanation. And a hypothesis,
you
hold
don't
on.
predict
A hypothesis
what
is
the
a tentative explanation. Okay? So I haven't made a prediction yet. I'm now going to use my hypothesis, which I've described. I'm going to use that to make a
First, you need
prediction.
a hypothesis to make an hypothesis.
I've given you my
Experiment.
hypothesis.
IV. You got 4 different IVs. What is the one IV? You can only have one IV for hypothesis. What is your IV?
My IV is the variables.
What?
And who said you can only have one V? Can you give me a citation? You can only have one IV in a hypothesis, please.
Okay, let me get it for you. I don't know why I have to do this, but yeah.
And then can I show my citation that hypothesis and predictions are different things?
Again, I never said it's not. You are making...
What's happened? Why can't I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Right,
hear me?
okay, sorry. Yeah, I accidentally disconnected my microphone for a second then.
Okay.
Yeah, so once you show me a citation that says you can only ever have one IV in a hypothesis, that's great. And you can just share your screen on Zoom, and
I'm
I'll
going to try and
put
share
that
my
up.
screen quickly for you.
Yeah.
I have
So-
to share it on Zoom for you, hey?
Yeah, so then I can show it to everybody on my side. And your citation is going to say that we can only
Yeah, I'll
ever...
just send it to you, then I'll show it to my people. I'm going to send it to you quickly.
Well, okay,
in-
but you can
Right.
just share it on Zoom and I can put it up. But so your citation is going to say that you can only ever have one IV in a hypothesis. Is that right? Or is it going to say that this particular hypothesis has one IV? Because, if it doesn't...
Hypothesis states presumed relationship between 2 variables, in a way. It can be tested with empirical data. It may take the form of cause-effect statement, or an if X, then Y statement. The cause is called the independent variable, it's singular, not plural. And the effect is called the dependent variable.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand that?
Yeah, so have you got a citation that says
Is
you
it
can only
singular
ever
or
have
is it
one
singular?
hypothesis? Sorry, have you got a citation that says you can only ever have one IV?
This is a citation from an edu. It
Yeah,
says
but does that say you can only ever have one IV?
independent variable. Do you
Yeah.
understand the difference between singular and
Right,
plural?
so to clarify, you don't have a citation that says you can only ever have one IV.
That's what it's
All
saying.
you no. What it's saying is it's talking about a variable.
Uno.
It is not
Uno.
saying that you cannot have more than one IV. You do not have a citation that says you cannot have more than one IV because that doesn't exist. You can interpret what things say as much as you want, but unless you have a citation with the specific words, you can only ever have one IV, you have nothing.
Shame. It sounds like you're trying to ignore what science is.
Well, no, I'm waiting for you to provide a citation that says you can only ever have one IV. Because in science, you don't have to have just one IV.
No.
There's nothing in science that ever says you have to have just one IV. Once
See,
again,
here's the
showing
issue.
empirically
You
that
said
flat
often
earthers
multiple
don't know what an IV
variables in
is.
experiment. Why? The most common approach is to the vectorial design, which is level of independent variable is combined with each level of other to create all possible conditions. So it's more than one hypothesis.
No, I've made one
that
hypothesis. It's just got a
if you
couple
have
of IVs
multiple
in it.
independent
So anyway,
variables?
right, I've done my hypothesis. We're going to move on to my prediction from my
I haven't
hypothesis.
had a hypothesis to
I've
do.
literally given you my hypothesis. I've done it multiple times. Maybe you have some kind of brain injury that prevents you from converting short-term to long-term memory. I'm not entirely sure. But I've given you my hypothesis multiple times, and now using my hypothesis, I'm going to perform a prediction. Based on my hypothesis, I predict. I'm about to do the prediction part. I'm about to do the. Wait, I'm about to do the prediction part.
Something on screen that says you can use multiple independent variables, but I don't really agree with it because this looks.
Oh well, you don't agree with it. Well, that's kind of a you problem, isn't it?
Actual design is not science.
Guys, I don't know if you just heard what Flatzoid said there, but he's just found a citation that says you can have multiple IVs, but he disagrees with it.
What is factual designs?
Okay, so
non-manipulated.
Can we move on to my prediction now, or
not manipulate the independent variable? So this one's already pseudoscientific.
So can we move on to my... Oh, so again, once again, you're the arbiter of what is pseudoscience, just like you said that Harvard University was pseudoscience, which was hilarious.
Yay. So
now I've done my hypothesis. Can we please move on to my prediction?
One independent variable in an experiment. This is because the variable you are changing, in order to observe the effects, it has only other variables.
Yeah. Okay, so I've not got to an experiment yet, have I? I've not got to an experiment yet, have I? So... I haven't got to the experiment.
What is the method?
Sorry, what is the scientific method?
The Socratic method.
Socratic method? I'm talking about scientific method.
What's the Socratic method?
What is the Socratic method? You tell me.
It has meaning. There's a meaning why there's a Socratic method.
Okay, so explain what it is.
The independent variable in the factor changed in an experiment. This is usually one independent variable, as otherwise it's hard to know which variable has caused the change.
Oh, so that's experiment, not hypothesis, once again. So I'm still waiting for you to find a citation that says a hypothesis cannot have more than one IV. Because I haven't got to the experiment yet, because you won't let me form my prediction, because you don't know what a hypothesis is.
A hypothesis.
We've literally done the hypothesis.
Make up your mind what the cause is. If you come up with one cause, then we can
I'm sorry,
on,
but my hypothesis has multiple IVs, and there's nothing in science that says I can't do that. So,
can you include more than one independent and dependent variable in the study? Yes, but including more than one is either type requires multiple research questions.
You are talking about the experiment, not the hypothesis. They are different things.
So it's correlation then. So if you're doing more than one cause, it's correlation and not causation. What is science?
We went through this there. There is
only causation.
No, it's not. There is totally correlation in science. There's literally a thing called correlative studies. Okay, anyway, so we've done my hypothesis, and we all agree, as you read out the citation that says my hypothesis can have multiple IVs, and my IVs are the distance between the masses and the size of the masses. We can now move on to me forming a prediction based on my IV. My prediction is very simple. Right? And I can even express it mathematically. My prediction is Fg equals gm1m2 over r squared, which means that I predict that there is an attractive force between masses that is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That is my prediction, which I have formed from my hypothesis. Do we agree? I have made a prediction.
No, I don't agree.
Once again, you don't agree with science. Lovely. Please now explain to me why you don't agree with my prediction. Sorry, say that again.
Are you stating that gravity is a force?
No, we've gone through that. I just said that there is an apparent attractive force between masses that is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square distance between the masses.
Without physical force?
Citation, please.
Can you have acceleration without physical force?
The gravity causes an acceleration, which makes the force. So anyway, my prediction. You're muddying the waters here. My prediction. Once again, my prediction. You're changing my prediction. Flatzoid, stop 1 sec. Stop 1 sec.
No.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
This is from Craig's actual interview with George Musa.
Literally, it's not a force.
Oh, wait, literally it's not a force.
Yeah, I've not said that it's a force. Nobody here has said gravity is a force.
take it literally. Like Newton himself didn't.
Newton didn't take it literally either. How do you have a force without acceleration again? Acceleration without a force?
No one's saying that there is. Again, I have made you are jumping ahead of things. I've made a observation, I've made a hypothesis, and I've made a prediction. All right? You just saying things doesn't change those being done. All right? You agreed that I made an observation. You've also agreed that I made a hypothesis, and now I've formed a prediction from that hypothesis.
I never agreed you made a hypothesis. I told you you haven't even got a hypothesis. You haven't even got one IV.
I don't need one IV, and you read a citation yourself that says I don't need one IV.
You can't even define what gravity is in the first instance.
Who says that we need to be able to measure it or show that it's real?
If it's real, it would be measurable.
It is measurable. Who said that we have to be able to? Who says we have to define it to be able to measure it?
Okay. Please show me a force without physical. Show me acceleration without a physical force, please.
Okay. So where's the force of the acceleration here?
You picked it up. You put energy into the system. It's denser than the air around it.
That's not a force. None of that's a force. Anyway, so let's get back to my hypothesis.
I'm waiting for you to back up your claim.
I haven't made any claims yet. I've made a prediction.
You made a claim that you can have acceleration without a force.
I have not. Wait, please tell me exactly where I made that claim, Mr. Gaslight.
You said gravity caused an acceleration.
Gravity is an acceleration. Right,
okay.
But
so
wait. Can we do one thing at a time? Right, we were doing the hypothesis and prediction stuff first because that's what your mantra demanded, and now you're trying to get away from that with semantics games about forces and accelerations. You don't understand.
To an IV yet. I'm trying to first show you.
Okay, so how about we do the hypothesis again from the beginning, and you tell me where the hypothesis is specifically wrong? Because remember, you read out the citation that says I can have multiple IVs yourself.
Okay, I'm going to write it down even bigger this time.
Right. So
okay. What's your IV?
Okay. So my hypothesis is that there seems to be some kind of attractive force between masses.
Okay. Attractive force, is that your IV? Attractive force.
Never said it was. Maybe listen before interrupt. Right, maybe. How many ears have you? How many ears do you have? You've got 2. How many mouths do you have? You have 1. Try and use them in that relation, and instead of jumping in, let me finish what I'm saying.
Why are you trying to now try a really dumb add-on? But anyway.
Okay.
IV,
so can I finish? Can I finish my hypothesis? Can I finish telling you my hypothesis first?
IV is a hypothesis, Craig.
An IV is not a hypothesis, you numbnuts. What do you mean an IV is a hypothesis? You have an IV in your hypothesis.
IV and DV is a hypothesis. If you can't even give me an IV, you cannot have an hypothesis.
Well, let me tell you my hypothesis and you might hear the IV. But you keep interrupting me so that you don't ever hear the IV.
Just say cause. What's your cause?
Well, maybe let me give you my hypothesis first before you start asking questions.
Cause?
Let me give you my hypothesis and then you can ask questions.
Cause or effect. What is your cause?
Can I give you my hypothesis? Yes or no?
Cause, please.
Can I give you my hypothesis? I haven't got to that part yet because I haven't told you my hypothesis because you won't shut up long enough for that to happen.
The guy doesn't even know what a hypothesis is, everybody. Keep that in mind.
That may be the most ironic thing that I've ever heard in my life. I'm literally trying to tell you the hypothesis. You won't let me do that. And then you tell me that I don't know what the hypothesis is as I'm attempting to give it to you.
How hard is it to give me a IV? I mean, that's
right.
What a hypothesis
well, let me tell you the hypothesis, and then you might hear the IV.
Instead of just telling me how you're going to tell me, just tell me.
No, I'm going to tell you the entire hypothesis. Okay? Now listen, do not interrupt. Let me finish the entire hypothesis, and then let's see if you can figure out what the IV was. My hypothesis for the observation I made is that there's an apparent attractive force between masses, and that apparent attractive force is dependent on the size of the masses and how big the masses are. There we go. Now, What do you
size of
think?
the mass is not bigger than the same
What do you think the IV there was? There was two of them. Let's see if you can gather it.
The size and what you said, the size of the thing and the
Distance between
the last part
them.
again?
The distance between them.
No, you didn't say that. You said the size and the what?
And the distance between them.
No, you said the size and its...
The size
said
of the
the same thing,
masses
different
and the
words.
distance between them. That is what I said.
And that's the cause of something.
What do you think the IVs there were?
There wasn't an IV because you
There was
can't
two
make
of
your
them.
mind.
There was two IVs there.
Okay, was it distance or size of mass?
Both of them. Those were the two IVs.
So you're saying correlation, so it's not scientific.
What do you mean correlation? I am saying that those are the things that when you change, it changes the dV, which is the force. Of course there's a correlation.
Okay,
That's how
okay,
you find
same.
out if there's causation. So those are the IV, the two IVs, which you've agreed we can have, are the size of the masses and the distance between the masses. You change those things and it alters the dV, which is the apparent attractive force. Manipulated, response to manipulation.
Okay, so you're saying if I pick this up and this up, this is an IV.
I can't see what you're doing because I can't see
Okay,
things.
I've got a mug in the one hand, it's a pickup, and I got a little charger in that hand. They got two different masses. Is this an IV?
Well, what's your DV in this case?
I'm sticking to your so-called hypothesis. I picked
Yes.
it up.
So what's the masses? Which are the masses that you are saying there's a distance between?
Do you understand your contradiction here?
I haven't. I've just asked you a question. But my IV is the size of the masses and the distance between the masses. So with the things that you've picked up, are you trying to find out? Are you trying to find the attractive force between the two things that you've picked up?
No, you are making assumptions about the attractive force. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
absolutely, because that's what a hypothesis is. It's an assumption. Yes.
No, a hypothesis is supposed to be black and white, clear and white to understand. Yours
Yeah,
is
it's
not
an assumption.
understandable.
Absolutely.
You have contradictions in your own statement.
No, I've had no contradictions at all.
Yeah, I have two different masses in my hand.
Yeah.
They're two different sizes with two different masses.
Yeah.
So you said if I have that, it's going to change the independent variable.
No, it's going to change the dependent
But I'm going to drop
variable.
it, guys. Oh, wait. Did they drop at the same rate? Oh,
Yeah,
golly
so they
gee.
had a different force to be able to make that happen.
Different masses with different sizes.
Yeah, so they had
Now
a different attractive
I'm going to do
force.
this again. Let's going to do this again. Now with the pen and... Oh, shit. They found
Right,
out
right,
the same
right.
rate
Right,
again.
Flatzoid, now can I explain where you've got
Let's do
confused
this
there?
now with the feather. I don't have a feather with me, but let's just say I dropped the feather and a pen. The pen is going to fall faster than the feather now. Did the size of the feather count, or was
Absolutely,
it the
yeah.
aerodynamics?
Yeah, absolutely the size of the feather counted. But the problem is there
Really?
when
Aerodynamics is the
wait,
thing
I
here.
was talking.
You're
I'm
making
so
correlation
sorry.
based-
I am really sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. That's incredibly rude of me, Flatzoid.
Stop interrupting me while I'm making
I
a
was
statement.
literally talking and you interrupted then.
No, I'm explaining to you why your correlation based, not hypothesis.
Oh, it
not
absolutely is a
scientific.
hypothesis. Let me explain to you where you've gone wrong
You
there.
haven't
Right?
given a proper IV.
I've
That's
given
what I said.
two
What
IVs.
is
I've given two
Give me a
IVs.
clear-cut
I've given two
IV.
IVs.
Just what is
I've given you
IV?
two.
Write it
I've
down.
given you two IVs.
No, one IV. We want the cause.
No, I've
for
given
the
you
effect.
two
The
IVs.
cause.
There is two IVs in my hypothesis. I have given you
We'll
them
make
both.
two hypotheses for you, okay? But
No,
first one,
no.
what's
Wait,
the
no.
first
This is
cause?
my hypothesis. You don't get to change it. My hypothesis has two IVs.
What is your first cause?
My hypothesis has two IVs.
What
I've
is your
told you my
first cause?
hypothesis.
What is your first cause?
The cause of the change of the attractive force could be the change in the mass or the change of the distance between them.
A change in mass.
Yeah.
Okay.
So bigger mass,
and
bigger force.
What
Smaller
is the
mass,
DV
smaller
for-
force.
okay. What
The
is
force.
the DV for that change in mass?
The force, the attractive force.
Attractive force.
Yes. There you go. Now you've got it.
What is your null?
What is my null? My null hypothesis is that my null hypothesis is that there is no attractive force between masses.
Okay, and what is an attractive force?
What is an attractive force? Are you really asking that question? What is an attractive force? It is a force that attracts. It is a force that attracts.
So, now, change your mass.
This is
guys,
brilliant.
Let's test this out, guys. I'm going to actually literally test this on screen for you now.
So, can I just explain to you where you went wrong with your little demonstration?
Yes.
Right,
mass,
so,
guys.
Wait.
I'm placing
Flatzoid, I was talking there a sec. Can I explain to you where you went? Flatzoid, I'm trying to talk. Can you hear me?
Okay, so it's attracting, guys, to this.
Can you hear me? Yes? No? Can you hear me?
Has it got an attractive
Apparently he's just ignoring me now.
Yes, I am ignoring you because you're being a total dick.
No, I'm asking you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to explain where you went wrong with your little demonstration. Because yes, they're going to accelerate at the same speed, but they're going to have a different force applied to them.
Look. Remember, a hypothesis has to be very, very strict. It actually has to tell you what's going on. This is not.
Yeah, you change the mass, and you change the distance, you change the attractive force.
Maybe I need a bigger or more mass ball. Maybe that's...
Yeah, you do. You need really bigs. That's why you haven't, my hypothesis can stand. Whether you agree with it or not, my hypothesis can be whatever the fuck I want it to be. All right? The fact is I have two IVs, and I have a DV, right? That's all I need. It's done. I have my hypothesis.
I've got something that's got nice mass. I think this is enough mass for you.
No, you're making an assumption there that it's enough mass.
Let's see if this pin is going to actually be attracted to if I stick it next to it. Okay. Guys, let's see if this pin is going to be attracted. How long is this force of attraction supposed to have? Remember, I changed the mass.
Yeah. But the problem is that the attractive force is far too small to do that. The attractive force. Flatzoid, Flatzoid, listen for a second. The attractive force is far too small to do what you are attempting to do there.
Relations are.
The attractive force is far too small to do what you're attempting to do there.
Is it?
Yeah. That's why my prediction was FG equals... Wait, let me finish talking before you interrupt. Let me finish talking. That's why my prediction was FG equals G M1 M2 over R squared. The attractive force... Right, listen to these words. Listen to these words. The apparent attractive force is proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So with those things that you've got in front of you attempting to say, why aren't they sticking together? Can you please give me the masses and then the distance between them and then do the maths in my prediction?
No need to. I'm just stating your so-called hypothesis and showing you why it's bullcrap.
Well, no, you're not, because you haven't listened to what my, the specifics. It's not.
Remember, we did this the last debate. Math is not science.
I never said it was. I never said it was. But my prediction can be described mathematically.
Listen, you having a description with an equation is not helping this idiotic.
No. Again, the prediction. So I have simply. Will you stop interrupting me when I'm talking? Like, you literally will not listen to anything that I say. My prediction can. Will you stop?
All of a sudden get attracted to
guys,
buildings
here's the thing. He's far too scared to actually have a proper conversation because he knows he's got nothing. He won't respond to anything that I say, and he's too scared to actually listen and respond. All he's going to do is talk over me and pretend that he's got me in some kind of gotcha, when all he's doing is making up his own hypothesis and ignoring mine. Now, Flatzoid, are you going to listen?
Are you done yet?
I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay?
You haven't actually answered any of my questions.
I've answered every single one of your questions. The problem is you don't listen long enough.
Acceleration without a force.
Never said that I could.
But Gravity
You're just
is
making
not a
stuff
force.
up.
So
Never
how
said
do
that
you
it
have
was.
acceleration of a force and still attribute it to gravity?
Okay, none of that is anything to do with my hypothesis or prediction. You're just making things up.
Did you not just say you're proving gravity? That's what.
No,
this
I'm
whole
not
thing
proving
is.
anything because
Does
science
gravity
doesn't prove.
exist?
We've gone through that.
So gravity is not proven. 100% agree.
Well, there's mathematical proof of gravity, absolutely.
Again, maths is not reality. We did this in the last debate.
Maths
That's
is
the
what
ice
gives you
packet
proof,
process.
and, you know, that's just a
Remember
fact
when you
about
try
maths.
to
So,
correlate belief of looking in the sky and thinking it's science? It's the same thing. You're making correlation.
anything can be science if you want it to.
Listen, you're making correlation-based observation and then calling it science.
Correlation-based observation. So are you saying that I cannot make a correlation in my hypothesis? Are you saying there is no correlation between the IV and the DV? Is that your claim?
Science is simply the cause and effect. Correlation.
Are you saying there is no correlation between the IV and the DV, yes or no?
Obviously, it had to be because you observed it, but
Right, there we go. So there is a correlation, right?
Listen, your hypothesis is not correlative. Your hypothesis
Never said it was.
is simply positive.
Yeah, and if you change the mass and if you change the distance, that causes the attractive force to change.
Description. Maths is description. It's a language. So changing the maths is not changing what you're manipulating anything.
You can literally changing the mass is a manipulation of the IV.
What is mass?
Sorry?
What is mass?
We've gone through that, asked and answered.
Is it inertia? Is
Asked and
mass
answered.
inertia or is it
Asked and answered.
Asked
Asked and answered. Asked and
Is
answered.
mass inertia?
Asked
Is
and
mass
answered.
inertia?
Asked and answered.
Is mass inertia?
Asked and
Yes or no?
answered.
It's a yes or no question.
I've already
Is
answered
mass
that
inertia?
question. Maybe your inability to convert short-term to long-term memory is affecting you again, but I have already answered that question. I do not want to go round and round and round, okay? I've done my hypothesis. I've done my prediction. Just because you don't think they're science doesn't mean that they're not.
Okay, let's ask a different question. Why is mass and inertia got the same definition?
Mass and inertia do not have the same definition.
Okay, quickly pull it
Mass
up and-
is resistance to inertia.
And what's inertia?
Mass is resistance to inertia. Inertia is
What's
the
inertia?
measure of the movement of an object.
Please say it properly.
What do you want? Are we going to?
Inertia
So what we're going to do
resistance
is we're going to go
motion.
back to the hypothesis, and you're going to explain to me how my hypothesis is fake and not real, based on the fact that if we change the IV, the DV will change in my hypothesis. All right. Now the thing about a hypothesis is it's an assumption. We're saying this is what I think is going to happen. I'm not saying that that is happening. I'm saying this is what I think will happen. Right? So you adding all this nonsense to it doesn't change the fact that it's still a hypothesis with IVs and a DV. You change the IVs. I'm still talking right now. You change the IVs and you have a corresponding change in the DV. That is my hypothesis. Right? That is my assumption. That is what I think is the cause of my observation. Right? You can't argue with that because that is my assumption. That is my hypothesis. And I'm making an assumption. I am saying that's what I think it could be. I'm not saying that's what it is, because that's not what a hypothesis is. A hypothesis is a tentative guess. And my hypothesis can be whatever I want it to be. Whatever I want it to be. As long as you can form a prediction that's testable using that hypothesis. And I can. That's all that matters.
Okay, you finished it, Craig?
Yeah. So we've done the hypothesis and we've done the prediction. Can we now go to the experiment?
The cause would be. If you've
Sorry?
got more than one IV, how do you know what the cause would be?
Well, the two IVs change the DV. Either of them changing affect the DV. That's my hypothesis.
That's correlative. That means you've made a pseudoscientific.
No, it means I've made an assumption, which is what a hypothesis is.
It's simply an empirical method. Remember we went through this last debate?
Yeah. Do you agree that it's an assumption?
You assume the cause for the effect observed. You
Oh,
understand?
sorry, you read a
So,
citation that says you can have more than one IV. You read that yourself.
And I showed you why it's a pseudoscientific paper.
Oh, so because
Anyway.
you disagree with it, it means it's pseudoscientific. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go with this. We're going to go with the citation, not what
Social
you think about the
sciences is
citation.
not science.
We're going to
You
go
know
with the
what
citation,
science
not
is,
what
Craig?
you think about the
You
citation.
know what
Okay?
natural science is, Craig?
It's just science.
Oh, does natural science mean it's about the natural world?
What does
we
natural
cannot
mean in
observe
science?
nature, and we figure out the cause for the effect in nature. Is that natural science?
What does natural mean in science?
I just asked you a question. You're not answering me. Is that natural science?
Yes, because natural in science means
Right.
anything of physical
so is
matter.
social. Tell me how you're going to manipulate anything in social sciences to call it science.
I'm not talking about that. This is debates about gravity. Why are you changing the subject?
You just brought up the citation that says goes against my word. I'm telling you
No,
what
no,
pseudoscience
no, I brought up
is,
your
Craig.
own citation. I brought up your own citation.
And I told you why it's pseudoscience. Because
I don't
social
care what
sciences-
you think. Your citation is what we're going to go with,
I don't
not
care
what you think
science
about your
also doesn't
citation.
care what anybody thinks because science doesn't care. It's a simple.
Yes, science doesn't
empirical-
care about what you think is
Method.
pseudoscience. Science doesn't
You
care that
understand
you
what-
disagree with
You
it.
understand what a method means, Craig?
Yeah, the scientific method. It's a fantastic thing that we can use,
No.
but you seem
If
to
I
completely
set up
ignore
a
it.
cause for an effect and I test it out, that is it.
Uh-huh.
But no, I think there's something else also attributing to this. Oh wait, it has to be a mass accelerating. I don't think it's a force, but it has to be accelerating. Do you understand the problem here?
No, not at all. You're just gaslighting.
We have not even established what gravity is yet. We haven't even
Who cares?
passed step one.
Who cares?
What is gravity?
Can you please give me a citation that says I have to define gravity to be able to measure it and say that it's real?
Can I say you are just actually measuring relative density disequilibrium, but because you got a belief in gravity, you've put
Yeah,
gravity
you're
into the
completely
equation.
wrong. You
Therefore, it means that you
All the
hijack
experiments are
relative
completely
density
wrong about
equilibrium.
that. All the experiments for gravity completely disagree
No,
with that.
dense
So-
objects don't fall through less dense medium, which is scientifically validated.
Really? So, can you explain to me why the glass of water on my desk isn't falling through the MDF desk?
He actually asked this, guys. I actually posted this on my page in the week.
Sorry, is it more dense or is it less dense?
Because
Because
it's solid.
did I just
And
disprove your
it is a
hypothesis?
solid.
Did I
It's
just
a
disprove your hypothesis?
What hypothesis? I didn't give an hypothesis.
Yes, you
I gave
did. You just gave me a hypothesis
explanation,
that think
description
that
of
you just
RGB.
gave
I
me.
didn't
No,
give
you
a
gave me a
hypothesis.
hypothesis. You gave me a hypothesis.
You want to give me a hypothesis, Craig?
You just gave me a hypothesis.
You want me
The-
to give you a hypothesis?
You just
Craig?
gave me a hypothesis that more dense things will fall
didn't.
through less dense
I
things.
gave you a
But that's not
description
true.
of RDD, not a hypothesis. You want me to give you a hypothesis, Craig?
No, well,
Because
we're still doing my
you
hypothesis.
disproved my previous one.
Yeah, I've just disproved your hypothesis. Anyway, so my hypothesis is valid as a hypothesis, whether you think it is or not, because my hypothesis can be whatever I want it to be, and my IV and my DV can be whatever I want it to be.
So, in other words, you're just proving you are having correlation and not causation,
No,
which is not scientific.
No, I'm showing
Do
that if you change one thing, it alters the other, so there's the cause and effect relationship.
What did you change? I changed the mass, I changed the distance, nothing happened.
Well, it's because the attractive force is very, very small.
But where was that in your IV? Where was that in your hypothesis? Oh, wait.
Where was that in my hypothesis? You change the mass and you change the distance, it changes the attractive force.
Which I did.
But nowhere have I stated
And I-
how strong that is, because I haven't got to that. That's in my prediction.
So you wouldn't be able to get to that point because it would be invalidated straight from experimentation, would it not?
Well, we have to make a prediction before we can experiment.
And I experimented on your hypothesis, which debunked
Well, I
it.
haven't. No. You
goal
don't.
was approved.
You have to do an experiment on your
The
prediction.
turbo did not get attracted to the pen, or the pen attracted turbo, even if I
Again,
changed the distance.
you skipped a step. You skipped a step of your mantra of scientific method. You skipped the prediction.
You predicted that the one mass with distance change will have a force of attraction to each other. Did
That
not
was
happen.
a hypothesis, but I never actually gave you a prediction. My prediction, all right, specifically, I want you to listen to these words. My prediction, my prediction,
my
prediction. Listen, no, I haven't given you my prediction. Listen, I haven't given you my prediction. Why won't you let me give you my prediction?
Lower.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm allowed to give you my prediction now. Do I have your permission for that? Fantastic. Right. So my prediction, and I want you to really listen, is that the apparent attractive force is proportional to the product of the two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay?
Right.
That is my prediction, right? Which means that the attractive force is very, very small and depends specifically on how big the masses are. And a tiny mass like this does not have enough mass to create the force to attract anything that is smaller than it, because everything else is too busy being attracted to the massive, massive mass below us. My prediction is something that I can now test. My prediction specifically talks about how the attractive force is proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So that is something that I can specifically experiment on, because I've made a very specific prediction based on my hypothesis. And the perfect experiment to match my prediction is any version of the Cavendish.
Oh, Cavendish was not an experiment, remember?
Oh, I disagree.
You know what torsion twist is because of torque, you know?
Yeah, but it's also an experiment. An experiment that says that if something happens... We've gone through this. What is the IV in the Cavendish? The IV in the Cavendish, it was the distance between the masses. Well, actually, the square of the distance between the masses.
And what are the controls?
What are the controls? The control variables would be the size of the masses, because they never change. So that's a good control variable.
Go on. Should be much more than that. There's so much.
Why do I need more than one control variable?
You know, why did they use a chord string in the first instance with the original Cavendish?
Why? Because that was something they could put a torsion balance on.
Okay. Why is it that it is called oscillation because of torsion twist?
Yeah, that's what we expect to happen when we introduce the masses. That's part of the experiment.
So it creates torque.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely, and that is that is something you can measure. That the DV
torque.
The DV could be the torque on the wire. That's the
not
DV.
Gravity then, not distance. Great.
The IV is the distance. Do you know the difference between an IV and a DV? I don't think you do, because you keep getting them mixed up.
EV is the effect. IV is the cause.
Okay, excellent. Here we go. So there we go. Here we go. IV, distance between the masses. DV, torque applied to wire. You change the IV. You physically manipulate. Let me finish. You physically manipulate the IV by changing the distance between the masses, and that gives you a change.
What is
are you going to keep interrupting whilst I'm talking? Yeah, you are, aren't you? Right. I'm going to start again. Let's see if you can keep shut while I'm talking. Right. The IV, the thing that you physically manipulate, is the distance between the masses. And this gives you the DV, which is the torque applied to the wire. That is what we expect to happen if gravity applies an attractive force between masses.
Sorry, but you just said torque is the reason. So
no, I said torque is what. Torque is the
reason you have them attracting each other, not gravity.
You got IV and DV the wrong way round.
I'm sorry. If there was no torque, would there be attractive masses between each other?
The torque is a result of the fact that the masses are being pulled together. Because we've predicted that it will cause an attractive force. That attractive force is going to make the bar turn, which is going to put torque onto the wire. So, if you change the IV, which is the distance between the masses, that is something you physically manipulate. You get a change. I'm still talking. You then get a change in the amount of torque applied to the wire, which is the dV.
Okay, then explain to me why you don't get any result if you have masses that are not heavy enough, denser enough, to actually create torque to move it. Do you get the same effect?
Well, no, because that's the point. If you change
the masses aren't having enough density to create enough torque, would you have the same effect?
The size of the masses will also change the attractive, but that's not what we were doing. That's not what we were doing in this experiment. The control in listen. The control in this experiment was the size of the masses. It could be electrostatics, it could be magnetism, it could be air currents. These are all controls. I am not changing the size of the masses. You don't get to say that changing the size of the masses, because that's not part of my experiment, right? My experiment is keeping the masses the same. That's a control, right? So don't tell me about changing the masses, because that's not part of the experiment.
You don't get it, do you?
No, you don't get it.
It's showing I've just disproved your so-called hypothesis because I changed the mass.
You didn't.
That they caused no effect, and the same.
Well, yeah, it does. It does actually. It does change an effect. Right. So we can redo the Cavendish in a different way. Right.
One of your IVs was changing the mass, and the other one was distance. So I kept
in the hypothesis. Yeah. Right. So here we go. Right. Wait.
Why won't you let me talk, Craig? You like doing this.
All right. Okay. All right. Finish what you're saying. All right. Finish what you're saying, then I'll respond. Okay. So on you go.
You don't get the effect observed. So that means that your previous hypothesis is now disproved, which is not a hypothesis. That's why I'm saying it wasn't, because once a hypothesis is validated, it stays validated. Therefore, you do not have a valid hypothesis.
Once a hypothesis is validated, it stays validated. Who said, can I get a citation for that?
Providing evidence for everybody to show you're a pseudoscientist, which only works with correlation-based and not
everything you just said was wrong. Right, so, my hypothesis... Okay.
Didn't cause movement.
Wait. I'm talking now. Right. I let you talk. So now I'm going to talk.
You talk all the time. That's the problem. You don't.
Okay. So now I'm going to talk and you're going to listen. So my hypothesis.
Don't tell me what to do, Craig.
So I'm going to talk and you're going to listen. There's a good way to behave.
You don't tell me what to do.
I can. I just did. So here's the thing. Right. So? My hypothesis had 2 IVs. Right. But my experiment. Are you not going to listen? No, you're not going to listen because you don't want to listen because you're scared to hear the explanation.
More than I.
That's it. You're scared to hear the explanation. You're scared. You're scared, aren't you? You're scared, aren't you? You're scared, aren't you? You won't let me talk. I gave you the chance. Now it's my turn. I'm waiting.
And obviously, listen.
It's my turn. Can I finish my point? You had your turn. You had your turn, and now I'm going to respond.
I haven't had my turn because
you literally just had your turn where you talked about changing the masses and stuff, and now it's my turn to respond to that. So thank you. Right. So my hypothesis had 2 IVs, but my experiment only had 1. My experiment had 1 IV, and the control was the size of the masses. But here's the thing. I can actually switch it up and change the experiment. I can change the experiment and make it so that the control would be the distance between the masses, but I can change the size of the masses. And if I change the size of the masses enough, there will also be a different torque applied to the wire. So, one experiment, I will have the IV as the distance and the control as the size of the masses. And then in another experiment, I will have the IV as the size of the masses and the control as the distance between them. And those 2 experiments will both match the prediction following from my hypothesis. And they will both show that there will be a torque applied to the wire because there is an apparent attractive force. Why else would there be torque applied to the wire when you change the IV if there wasn't an attractive force? Whether or not you think these things are pseudoscientific doesn't matter because science disagrees with you specifically. I have now finished.
Great. So, in other words, you don't understand how you just explained it. Talk is your phenomena.
I didn't say that at all. Nice gaslighting.
What is talk, Craig?
It's a twist in force.
Caused by what?
It's a measure of a force of twist. It can be caused by lots of different things. An engine can put torque onto, onto wheel, right? I can put torque onto this pen by twisting like that. Torque is just force, but in twisting.
So you're trying to say your gravity, that's not a force. The force of attraction is actually torque. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not at all. Nice gaslighting.
You just said Cavendish experiment is validating gravity as a force, accelerator force. And
no, that's not what I said at all.
Accelerator force demonstrated in the Cavendish is just torque.
That's not what I said at all. I'm saying torque is a result of the forces being applied.
So torque is your accelerative force then?
Accelerative force. That's not a thing.
Guys, if you pick up something and let it go, it's not called gravity. We're going to call it torque from now on. Whoop.
Nice gaslighting.
Because that's what the Cavendish proved, guys. That's what it validated. Torque.
Oh.
This is an accelerative.
This is all excellent material for your episode of Flerfs Are Idiots.
Cavendish is not an experiment. It's a demonstration.
An experiment.
Correlative belief.
It's definitely an experiment. I've just explained how it's an experiment. Your misunderstanding of science and experiments doesn't stop it being an experiment.
And this is what I tried to tell Blue Marble Science when he did his so-called Cavendish.
His actual Cavendish, which is in a university at the moment.
And it's not an experiment. I just
explained why. All of science disagrees with you. Why do you think that is?
All of pseudoscience disagrees with
No. All of actual science. Every single physicist in the world, every single scientist in the world, every single person who has ever taken a physics course, every single physics teacher, every single professor, every single person with a master's or a PhD in physics, every single engineer on the planet disagrees with you. Why do you think that is?
What is opinions disagree got to do with science again?
I'm just asking, why do you think all of the other scientists in the world disagree with you? Why do you think you are the only person that has this opinion?
I don't have an opinion. Science
you do. You have an opinion. You have an opinion about things which is different to what everybody else in the world of science says. So why do you think that you are right, but all of the scientists are wrong?
Appealing to authority is
not appealing to authority.
Science.
Again, I'm just asking you a question. Why do you think that you're right, but every scientist, physicist, engineer, teacher, student, and anyone who's ever used physics in history is wrong, but you're right? Why do you think that?
Show me one person that disagrees with me that torque was the cause of the accelerator force there. Show me one person.
Torque was the cause of it. Everybody in the world would disagree with you because that sentence was complete nonsense.
5 minutes ago, it was the reason.
I never said nice gaslighting. Can you please cite me exactly where I said that?
You don't know what gaslighting is. You like saying I'm gaslighting.
Yeah, you gaslight. Gaslight is when you put things into me, pretending that I've said them. You're trying to make me think that I've said things that are crazy. You are literally trying to gaslight me because you're too stupid to understand the things that you are saying.
Oh, no, I'm too stupid because I'm telling you an apparatus which is based on torque. Hence why he tried to measure the density is because of torque oscillations is not torque. You ever read?
Sorry, it's not torque now.
From the Cavendish?
Did you just say it's not torque?
You know what the data states? You know what that means? When it says the torque twisting, you know what that means?
What does it mean? Please tell me.
Torque is the actual cause.
No, it doesn't. Torque is the result, not the cause. The dV is not the cause. The dV is the result. It's the other way. Right. You keep saying. Right. Wait. 1 sec. Can I ask you? 1 second. 1 second, please. Just 1 second. 1 second, Flatzoid. Right. You keep saying that torque is the cause, but torque is the dV, not the IV.
No,
the dV. Listen, the dV is the result, not the cause.
The torsion twist is the dV because that's the effect of the torque.
That's the effect. The torque itself is what's happening, right? That is the result of what's happening. The torque.
Show me torsion twist without torque, please.
So they're both happening. You can't have one without the other.
Twist without the torque, please.
You can't have one without the other.
Torque causes torsion twist. Voila, end of story.
Okay, so what was the thing that actually caused that to happen in the first place? Why did that torque appear?
Because you put weight onto it. It's
Weight.
denser than the meat around it.
Torque. No. Hold on. Pulling down doesn't cause torque. Pulling down does not cause torque. Pulling down doesn't cause torque. Putting weights on something doesn't cause torque.
Guys, he says putting weight on things, so that's what the whole Cavendish is built upon, is density of the weight.
No, it's not. It's a horizontal thing, not a vertical thing. What are you on about?
The weights.
Yeah, it's not about the weights pulling down. That's not what it's measuring. That's not where you get the torque. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I've just got it. You think?
What does the R stand for in torque vectoring, Craig?
I've just got it. You think that the torque is a result of weights pulling down? Is that right?
No. The vector is causing a torque vector. You understand?
Which way is the vector? Which way is the vector? Which way is the vector? Is it horizontal or is it vertical?
Do you know what this means?
Which way is the vector? Is it horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
So side to side, not up and down.
This guy, it's perpendicular. Do you know
right, so not up and down. So what the fuck does density have to do with it?
Can you see my hand, Craig?
No, I can't see your hand. I'm not looking at your stream. But what does density? What does density have to do with it?
What does density have to do with it? The whole Cavendish demonstration is about density.
No, it's not. Who told you that?
He was trying to measure the density of Earth, Craig. Did you not know
but that's not what the torque is. The torque isn't dense. He measured the density of the Earth by calculating the actual gravitation. Oh my goodness!
I literally can't believe someone can be so dumb.
Let me just once again. So you think that density has anything to do with the torque being applied to the wire?
Shit, Sherlock.
I just want you to answer yes or no. Do you think density has anything to do with the torque being applied to the wire?
Yes, because density is mass. Guys, can you hear that laugh? This is a guy laughing because he doesn't understand. Let's see, torsion wire. What is that? If you change the mass, why does it cause more acceleration or less acceleration?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? I know. Torque.
Wait, sorry. If you change the mass, are you talking specifically about the Cavendish experiment or just in general?
We've been talking about the Cavendish the whole time.
Right, okay, so you jump about so often, it's hard to keep track. Yeah, if you change the mass, or if you change the distances between them, that will change the torque.
Now changing the mass changes, but you just told me it doesn't.
No, I didn't. When did I say that?
You just said it like
nice,
you even lost
nice gaslighting once again.
Guys, let's see. Torque. A force that tends to cause rotation.
Yeah, it's literally rotating force. That it's literally a measure of a rotation force.
Twisting force to an object to gently torque the hip joint. What does the R mean in torque? Would that be distance? Let's see, what is perpendicular? What is torque? Perpendicular distance. Force is down, the pivot is that way. Hello? Why is it that everything I'm showing is validating what I said and showing...
Nothing is validating what you're saying because everything you've said is complete nonsense. Right, please explain to me
Just
how
show it on my screen.
right, please explain
I just
to me.
showed-
Right, hold on. I'm asking
I
a
just
question.
showed
I'm asking a
the
question.
screen that
Please
you
explain
got
to me
on
in right, please explain to me in the Cavendish experiment how density can change the torque.
More dense the object, the more stress you put on the rod, the more torque it is applied thanks to the vector. So therefore it has more force to be able to twist. Therefore you're getting your accelerated
sorry.
force, you could say.
Say that again from the start. Explain
Okay,
explain once again. Explain once again how density.
Have you ever seen a construction?
Wait.
Have you
Hold
ever
on.
seen
Hold
a
on.
construction?
Well, one sec. Let me get this in my head. Let me get it straight in my head, please. Let me.
You want me to explain it?
Yeah,
to you
yeah.
or not?
I want to get the thought out. Let me get the thought out. Okay. Specifically, because I need this answer specifically. Just explain to me exactly how density changes the torque applied to the wire that the torsion bar is holding on to.
The more mass you have, the more force you have.
The more mass you have, yeah.
Density is mass, is it not?
No.
Guys, you heard it. Density is not mass. Wow. I'm sorry.
Do you think density equals mass?
Since when does density not mass?
I mean, since always?
Please show me density without mass.
I didn't say that. You just said that density equals mass. Is that your claim?
Density is mass.
No, it's not. It's a measure of the amount of mass in an object.
Density, which is mass,
Yeah.
compared to this cup, which has density, which is mass. It's the mass crammed
Density.
into a cubic volume. Do you understand? That's what density is.
Hey, Toon, if you're watching, could you please clip that part for me where he's just said that density equals mass?
Oh, by the way, McToon is on the chopping block tomorrow night with his so-called
Wait, hold on. Toon, could you do me a favor? Could you go to his...
want to stay tuned for that because the guy is...
Toon, could you go to
Just
his
like
channel
this guy.
and clip that part where
Yeah.
he's just told me that density equals mass? Because, I mean, I don't need anything else to prove that he's scientifically illiterate.
Equals mass, please.
You just said
don't say-
literally density is mass.
Yes.
And I said, are you telling me that density equals mass? And you said yes.
I didn't say
Equals. I said density is mass. There's a difference.
What,
Because you
so
cannot have
density
density
is mass
without-
is different
you
to
cannot
density equals mass.
You cannot have density without the mass. You cannot have the mass without the density. They are the
Define,
same
do me a
thing.
favor, define density.
It's the crammed mass in a cubic volume.
The amount of mass in an object, right?
So if you cram more mass in an object, is it got more density? Is it
More, if you
more
cram
heavier?
more mass in an
Has it
object, did you
got-
say?
Has it got more mass?
Did you say if you put more mass? No, you can have objects of the same mass with different density. You know that, right?
Let's put it this way.
Wait, no, I just asked the question. Wait. Don't skip over my question. Don't skip over my question. Don't skip over my question. Do you know that you can have objects of different densities with the same mass?
No, shut Sherlock. Because
Brilliant.
things have
So
different
therefore, density isn't mass.
Really?
They are
So
related. They are related, but they are not the same thing. And the fact
What
that you
happened-
just doubled down on density
What
is
happened-
mass is
what
going
hap-
to be
what-
your thumbnail in your
What
episode of
happens-
Flerfs Are Idiots.
What happens when you let's say you go to the gym and you pick up a kilogram. Obviously, you probably can pick up a kilogram. I pick up more like 5 to 10. But anyway, you pick up.
Dude, I don't think you realize how strong I am.
Okay, 5 to 10 kilograms.
Wait.
And you
Hold on one second. I don't think you realize. Did you
add
just
more
try and
effort.
did you just try and flex on me? Did you just try and flex on me? Did you just try and flex on me though? Did you just try and flex on me?
You're adding another 5 kilograms. So now let's say it's 20 kgs. Does it have more density to it per cube? Or does it have way more? Now he's actually trying to... Is that a 2.5 or a 5 kg?
Sorry, did you just try and flex on me? Did you just try and say that you think you could bench or lift more than me?
Yes, I can.
Really?
For sure.
You really think that? Even though I'm a disabled veteran, have you any idea how strong I am?
What kilogram was that? Was that a 2.5
well,
or a 5 kg?
This is 4.5, and it's just what I kind of
there we
think
go.
about all the
That's
time.
like little kinky weight for me, so sorry.
Of course. Yeah,
Anyway,
so this is just the small one that I
like
carry
I was
around.
saying, I add another 5 kg to it. Is it heavier?
Yeah, but is it more dense?
Okay, so I added more weight onto the same dumbbell. Is there more mass with more density in the same dumbbell area that I'm picking it up?
No, you have not increased the density. You've just put more mass there.
More mass means more density.
No, you have not increased the density. You have put more mass there. If you
mass,
right,
mass
listen. Let me explain.
Listen,
Right? No, let me explain. Right? If my turn to explain. Right? So if I've got this as a weight, right? Okay, and then I add another 5 to the side. That hasn't changed how dense it is. That's changed how much mass there is. It's still the same density.
Don't misrepresent. I'm not saying how density you've changed it. I'm saying you need to add more mass to make it heavier. Therefore, you're adding more density to the equation.
No, the density is the same. Just because you've added more mass, you haven't increased the density.
Per cube, it's the same. If you add 2 cups, I have a cup, it's got the density per cube. Understand? I'm adding another cup to it. It's got, again, I'm plussing another cup. It's got more density.
No, the density stays the same. The mass just gets more. Oh my god.
You're adding more density.
You're not. The density stays the same. You don't change the density of something by doubling how much there is.
Per cube, the density stays the same. I 100% agree with that. It doesn't change. But you're adding more substance to hold up. Do you understand?
Yeah, and the density of that substance hasn't increased. The density has stayed the same. The density would only get the difference is if you squished it together.
Density per cube stays the same, but the weight is more because you're putting more of a density. You're putting more substance into
more
the
mass,
system.
not more density.
Does this pen have density or not?
The density will stay exactly the same.
Does it have density?
Yes, the density stays the same.
Is it a measured weight? Is it a measured weight? Is it a measured weight, Craig?
Is what a measured weight? Sorry.
Okay. The density, is it a measured weight?
No, density isn't the measured weight.
Does this pen have a measured weight?
The pen has weight, yes. The pen also has density.
Okay. Would this weight exist without density?
Would this weight exist without density? Density is a measure of mass in an object. That question is ridiculous.
So it's substance. So in other words, density is what gives it substance. That's what gives it weight.
No.
Show me weight without the density, please. I would want
gaslighting once again. Never said that.
Show me weight without density. Please.
Gaslighting. I never said I could.
I just explained it to you. Show me weight without density.
I never said I could.
Okay, well, anyway, back to my point. When you add more density or weight to the system, like the Cavendish, you create more force, which creates more torque.
When did you add more density to the Cavendish? At what point does that happen?
Larger masses.
Sorry?
By adding larger masses.
No, a larger mass doesn't increase the density, it increases the mass. The density stays the same.
Misrepresenting what I'm saying. You are adding denser objects.
No, you're not. You're adding objects of the same density with different masses.
If I have a 2 kilogram mass hanging and I decide to take it off and put a 5 kilogram mass there, is it now got the same mass? The same
yes,
density?
No. Yes, it's got the same density. Exactly.
Okay, one was gold, one was iron. Now, do they have the same density?
No, they're different. Now they're different substances. All right.
So,
But
density,
my turn. But if you have a 5 kilogram iron weight and a 2 kilogram iron weight, they both have the same density.
no shit, Sherlock. I'm not saying they don't.
You've
They still
literally
have
said
the-
they don't about 100 times.
I'm trying to explain. You have extra weight when you add more density, more substance. The pen has more density. I've added to the cup. The cup has more weight now. It's not gravity pulling it down. It's simply got more mass. It's got more weight.
What's weight? Define weight.
The pressure exerted on the scale.
Incorrect. Define weight.
Pressure exerted on a scale.
Incorrect. Define.
Weight?
How do you
How
measure?
do you measure weight? Like,
Weight is
how do you
literally a
measure-
measure of mass times gravitational acceleration. That's the actual
How do
definition
you
of it.
measure weight? Have you ever used a scale before?
Yes, it's mass times gravitational acceleration.
Have you ever used a scale before?
Absolutely. Mass times
How does-
gravitational
how does a
acceleration
scale
gives you
work?
weight.
How does a scale work?
By putting a mass on it and applying a gravitational acceleration.
No. It's a pressure. It works on pressure.
Yeah, because you've applied a mass, a gravitational acceleration to a mass, creating a pressure on
No. If I'm pushing the scale down with my hand, am I applying gravitational acceleration or am I pressing on it? Am I causing a pressure on it?
Yeah, the acceleration acting on the mass creates a pressure.
Oh, so I'm gravity now. My arm is gravity.
Nice gaslighting.
The strength that I'm just telling you is pressure gravity now.
No one said that. Amazing how much you can gaslight. It really is.
You know how a scale works, Craig.
Yes, I do. Which type of scale do you mean? Digital, spring-loaded, balanced scales? Which kind?
Anyone balanced? I like balanced.
Well, balanced scales are actually a measure of density, but
Oof. Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to spring-loaded. That's also fine. How does spring-loaded work?
by applying a gravitational acceleration to a mass.
No, applying a pressure.
And how do you get the pressure? So wait, so according to you, mass equals
What is
density
pressure?
equals
What
weight
is pressure?
equals pressure.
Does density cause pressure?
Well,
Right?
I've just asked you what is pressure, so tell us.
Pressing.
Pressure
Force
is
exerted
pressing.
on the
Is
surface.
that
That's
it?
Pressure.
How do you calculate pressure?
I'm not trying to calculate pressure. We on trying
Well,
to.
you
figure
are.
out
I've asked you what is pressure. So how do you figure out what pressure is?
What the argument is?
Like how would you? Like, what's the units that you measure pressure in?
What is, again, I work with scales every day.
Oh, so what units do you measure pressure in then?
I'm not measuring pressure now.
Well,
I'm
you just
trying
said
to
you
explain
were.
to you how scales work.
You
because
just told me
push
scales work by
pressure.
measuring pressure. That was literally the words that came out of your mouth.
It's measuring pressure, yes.
All right. Okay. So please tell me how you measure pressure. What units are pressure measured in?
It depends what scale you want.
No.
What's
What
the unit
units
you-
are pressure measured in?
PSI usually.
PSI. Yeah. One way of saying it. But, you know, how do you calculate pressure?
What's the problem?
What's the
What's that got to do
what's
with
the
my
mathematical
argument that I'm
description of
presenting, Greg?
pressure?
What has that got to do with my argument I'm presenting, Greg?
Because you
Why
said it
obviously-
was pressure pushing on the scales. So I'm asking you to define pressure for
Because
me.
density is why we have the weight, not gravity. Even though you put gravity in your equation, it's not gravity. Remember, you can't even define gravity. You've shown
Yeah, I
you don't
can.
know
It's
what
an apparent
torque-
attractive force between
So
masses.
it's
There we go. Define that.
correlation-based deductives. You only have opinions so far and beliefs on what you think gravity is. You can't even give a proper hypothesis that can
I
be
gave an
tested.
exact
You think the
hypothesis.
demonstration of torque is gravity. You think weight has anything to do with gravity just because it's in an
It's
equation
literally
that
how to
shows-
calculate weight. You know, as a submariner
show-
who's had to do these calculations, you know, so that I could survive.
Sorry, just
I
because the
was just
equation
wondering,
puts
if
G-
you work with
Sorry,
scales every day, you say.
Just because you put G into the equation doesn't make gravity real. That's a reification. You do know.
I don't think you
can
know what
just change
reification
the
means.
G to relative density disequilibrium. It will give
No, you
exactly
can't
the
because
same
the G actually changes
I
based
can
on where
call
you
it
are.
unicorn farts if I want to, Craig. Just
Sorry?
because I changed to unicorn farts, does that make unicorn farts now The
Well,
replacement
no, because that's not what
gravity.
it is. You can change things as much as you want. It
It's going
doesn't make
to work.
things real.
Equation is always
But
going to work.
I want to go back to
That is
pressure because
right.
I want to go back to pressure because you're talking specifically about pressure and how that's what causes scales. So, what's the SI units for pressure?
I don't know. You tell me.
You don't. Well, no. Sorry. You're the one that's saying it's pressure that causes it, right? So, how would you know that? How would you measure pressure? What's the SI units for pressure?
Do you know what pressing means? Do you know what pressing means?
Yeah, I know what pressing means, but you said pressure, not pressing.
So back to my argument. When I put something on a scale, is gravity pulling that thing down to give the measure, or
Yes.
is that object pressing on the scale, which gives the reading?
The mass has a gravitational acceleration acting on it.
Again, where did you get that? Where did you work that out? You haven't even established it has an acceleration. First of all, you said gravity is not a force, so it cannot have acceleration.
Gravity
When you
creates
try
a force.
to prove your acceleration, you prove it as just torque.
Torque was a result. It was the dV. You don't know what a dV is. It's amazing.
Torsion twist was the result of torque. Maybe you don't understand that. Very simple thing.
Define torsion twist.
The twist. There we go.
Define
The
torsion
oscillation.
twist specifically.
I just did.
The
So-
twist. No, that's wrong. Define torsion twist.
I just did.
No, you didn't. You just said
I did.
the twist. That
It's
is not the
the twist.
definition of torsion twist.
It's the twist caused by the torque.
So does the torque
I
cause the
had
torsion
on
twist, or
screen
does
a
the
few
torsion
minutes
twist
ago.
cause the torque? Which one is it? Get it straight.
Torque causes torsion twist.
But you just said torsion twist causes torque.
No, I didn't. Maybe you should clean out that ears of yours.
Yeah, you did it. You
Torque?
literally did. Those were your words.
Torque causes torsion twist.
Torsion,
The
torsion
torque
twist isn't like
is
really the
causing
thing.
the twist, the oscillation.
And where did that
You
come
get
from?
that.
What made that happen?
The dense masses that cannot be supported by the air around it.
Yeah,
So
no,
it
but wait. That would mean it would be downwards, right?
So it causes
Right,
stress
so-
on the beam.
So that wait.
So it causes
Hold on,
stress
hold on.
the beam.
Before you move
So
on,
it causes stress on the beam that causes it to have the torque twist.
right. So you're saying the fact that there's no support underneath the masses is causing there to be a torque on the wire. Is that right?
Yes, the wire is holding all the weight.
Right, okay.
not-
So please explain to me how a downward vector causes a torque, which is a rotational force.
Can you see my hand?
No, I can't.
Okay, I don't know how I'm going to show it to you. It's like a right-hand rule for torque. The force which comes in the vector is then perpendicular to the force outwards. Do you understand?
Okay.
So if the
A
force is
downward
coming
force cannot
vertically-
create a torque on a
Okay.
wire.
I don't understand how you cannot get this, guys. This is like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
The torque is created by the movement horizontally, not downwards. Right? So,
No, the torsion twist is horizontally caused by the vector, aka the torque vector, vertically.
the torque vector vertically, what the fuck are you talking?
The force
Right, okay, you don't know what the
Remember-
Cavendish experiment
Wait.
is. You haven't a
The
clue
weight-
what the Cavendish... I figured it out! You don't know what the Cavendish experiment is!
the weights are hanging what? Horizontally or vertically?
Everything hangs horizontally, but that isn't what causes the torque on the wire.
Everything
What
hangs
causes...
horizontally,
Wait, I'm
sorry.
talking, I'm talking.
weight-
I'm
the
talking.
weight at the
I'm
same
talking.
altitude-
Flatzoid, I'm
String
talking.
with
I'm...
that
Wait,
altitude at
I'm talking. Wait.
a rod.
Wait, let me explain. You seem very, very confused about the Cavendish experiment, right?
No,
It's
you
not.
are.
It's not the downward force
it
that
to
causes.
people on stream
Wait,
last
let me
night.
finish. Let me finish. It's not the downward force that causes the torque on the wire, right? It's when you introduce the masses closer to each other. You move the big mass closer to the little mass that's on the end of the bar, right? And that makes the little mass move towards the big mass, which twists the bar and puts torque onto that wire. That torque isn't caused by anything being pulled down, it's caused by the bar rotating, making it twist. Oh my god!
Guys, on screen again, where's this force showing for the torque? I know Craig can't see it, but maybe he should just go and click what is torque on Google quickly, and maybe he'll see.
I'm a physics and an engine. I've got 2 degrees, one in physics, one in engineering. Torque is a measure of twist, not pulling down.
Ah, so the twist is due to torque. Thanks for debunking your own argument, Craig.
What? That's what it is, you fucking... Right, right. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes to. All right, give me 2 minutes to talk and don't interrupt. Okay, 2 minutes to talk and do not interrupt. Okay. The point of the Cavendish is this: the entire apparatus is under the same gravitational acceleration. There is
no gravitational acceleration. That's verification.
No, it's not. That's just that's just a fact, right? Everything has the same downwards acceleration acting on it. Okay, that everything. That's just a fact. That's why it's set up like that. It's all hanging. It all has the same downward pressure, acceleration, gravity, whatever you want to describe it as. The entire thing has that same thing acting downwards on it. Okay, but then what you do is that bar that's hanging. So you've got the wire hanging down and the bar attached to it. You make that bar twist. That is the aim of the experiment. You are introducing the larger mass to the smaller mass, which is on the end of the bar, making that bar twist. That twisting of the bar, that rotation of the bar, applies a torque to the wire. That is where you get the torque from in the experiment. Nothing in the experiment is anything to do with it being pulled down. That's not where the torque comes from. The torque specifically comes from the rotation of the torsion bar with the small masses on. That is what the Cavendish experiment is. You seem very confused as to what it actually is.
The torque is due to the force pulling it down. Which
No!
I've got it on screen now. I've got it on screen for everybody to see while you show what a moron you are.
Are you really saying that you think torque is a measure of pulling down on something rather than twisting?
Twisting is torsion, which is created from the torque.
And how does things pulling down cause it being twisted?
Stress on the system. The distance is what gives it that stress. That's what R stands for in the equation. Distance. Do you
distance
not
from what? What do you
that?
Distance from what? Flatzoid. What do you think that the distance from?
That rod gives the distance.
That rod, the distance. Yeah, but what is that in torque?
What do you mean? What is that in torque?
Yeah, how are you applying that to torque?
I don't know how I'm going to show this right-hand rule if the guy can't even see my screen.
I'm just trying to read what in the same way the force applied to object will cause it to move linearly. Oh my god, you're literally showing something that debunks you. An object's axis of rotation, in the same way that a force is applied to an object will cause it to move linearly, right? A torque applied to an object will cause it to rotate around a pivot point. Pivot point is known as axis of rotation, and the perpendicular distance of the force from the axis of rotation is known as the moment arm. This is why torque is also referred to the moment of force. So the torque, the amount of torque applied isn't to do with it pulling down. The amount of torque applied is to how much that is twisting. That's where you get torque from. It's literally a twisting force.
Torsion twist is the measure of the torque, Craig.
It's literally what torque is. Torque is literally a measure of twisting force. It's the word for force, but in a twisting. That's what it is in physics, right? In physics, that's how you use it. Wait, hold one sec. In physics, wait, one sec. In physics, that's how you use it, right? In physics is literally force, but twisting. That's what it is.
Have you ever bent a prop shaft before on a truck or something?
Many times.
What caused that to happen? Was it the twist or was it the torque?
Well, usually it would be hitting a bump.
No, I'm talking about when you have something, let's say a drag car with a nice prop shaft, and it seems to, when you put too much power, you put too much torque in the system, what happens to that prop shaft?
Well, it would usually snap.
Because
there's a twisting force, not a force being pushed inwards.
The torque, or was it the torque that caused the twist?
The torque is the measure of the twist. I don't think the torque is literally the measure of twisting force.
Just give me 2 seconds. I just want to go to the bathroom quickly. I can't take this anymore. This guy.
He doesn't understand that torque is a measure of twisting force. I don't know how else to explain it to him. He thinks torque is like, you know, you pull something and it applies torque to it. Torque is literally a measure of, you know, like if I got this pen and I twist it like that, you know, I've got one hand twisting this way, one hand going the other way, and it's applying a torque to the middle of it. It's applying the twisting force. Like he's no idea what he's talking about, like from beginning to end. I need to go grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 secs. Alright, Flatzoid, I'm just going to grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 secs.
Okay. Okay. Because you really have that music on, because I don't like music on, because last time when you had the music on it, and it's not mute the music, saying what's on your music, kind of copyright strike, music, you just put the music, play your music, play your music, play your music. Oh man, this is like really insane. I have to talk over it the whole time so it just doesn't copyright. Sorry guys. I want to actually explain. Motion is the twisting of a beam under action. Motion is the twisting of a beam under action of twisting. None of it. Motion, not torque. Right? You understand that? You never apply screws.
Okay. Here we are. Right. So,
let's go. Torsion is the twisting of a beam under the action of torque.
Yeah, exactly. So the torque is the measure of the twist.
Torque is the action. You understand?
What's torque measured in? What's torque measured in?
Torque causes the torsion.
What is torque measured in?
We're not getting there until you actually understand that torque.
What is torque measured in?
Under the action of torque.
What is torque measured in?
I don't care.
No, anyway, because that actually debunks you.
No, it doesn't. Torsion is the twisting of a beam under the action of torque.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So torque is the cause of torsion twist, you numbskull.
And you don't get one or the other, but that entire thing, the reason torque was applied was because of the bar twisting in the Cavendish experiment, right?
Sorry, you saying you don't get twist, you can only get torque if you have torsion twist. Is that what you're telling me?
And you can only get torque if you have torsion twist. Torque is a measure of twisting force.
Torsion twist is the effect of torque, you dumb.
Right, define torque.
I just did. It's the action perpendicular to which causes the rotation.
And how do you measure torque?
With force.
What's the units for it?
SI. Newtons.
No, try again.
Torque is measured in newtons.
Try again.
Have you ever used a torsion bar?
Yeah. Try again. Torque is not measured in newtons. Keep going.
Okay, let's see. Time to look this up.
You don't know what torque is measured in, do you?
Oh, torque measured in newtons.
Torque is measured in Newton meters.
In the SI, torque is measured in Newton meters. Tell me
Not
again I'm wrong.
newtons, not newtons, Newton meters or pound feet, pound foot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Newton meters.
Yeah,
It's the
not
same thing.
newtons. No, it's not the same thing as newtons.
Newton meters. That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You just said newtons.
Okay, well, Newton meters. Sorry.
Yeah.
SI.
Right. So, torque is a literal measure of twisting force, right? That's what it measured. That's what the Newton meters measure, is how much twisting force is being applied to something, right?
I'm going to read this word for word. Try pay attention. Torque is a measure of how much twisting is applied to a fastener.
That's exactly the words that just came out of my mouth.
So, you understand the twisting is the dV, the torque is the IV.
No, because I didn't change. I didn't manipulate the twisting. I manipulated the distance between the masses. So the IV has to be something you physically manipulate. Do we agree? Do we agree that the IV has to be something that you manipulate? Because that's your mantra, right? You have to manipulate the IV.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And what is the thing? And what is the thing that I manipulate in the Cavendish experiment? What is the thing that I manipulate?
The density of the masses and the distance.
Right. So we're just doing the one thing, right? And in the basic Cavendish experiment, right, hold on. We're just doing the one. We're just doing the one. The control in this one is the size of the masses, so we're not changing those, right? So what is the what is the IV? The IV would be the distance between the masses, right?
Which is torque.
No, the IV is the distance between the masses. That isn't torque. That is a distance.
So if you change the distance, does the torque vectoring change?
If you, I hope you just listened to what you said there. If you change the distance, the amount of torque changes. Do you agree?
Yes, because torque
So what was the IV?
There was no IV.
Wait, sorry, I manipulated something. I changed something, so there's an independent variable. What did I change?
Distance.
I changed the distance. So that was the thing that was manipulated. Do you agree?
What?
Do you agree that the manipulation of the distance between the masses caused a torque to be applied to the wire?
Wow, so not acceleration by gravity. You just debunked your whole argument that it was proving gravity.
Totally not. Do you
You
agree?
literally disproved my
Do
point
you
that
agree?
the Cavendish is
Do you
only
agree?
causing torque
Do you
vectoring.
agree, yes or no? Do you agree, yes or no? Flatzoid, I would like a yes or a no from you. Do you agree, yes or no, that a change in the distance between the masses caused a change in the torque applied to the wire? Do you agree, yes or no?
Yes, because that's the actual thing. It's the demonstrated, what I'm saying.
And
It's
that
not
matches,
acceleration.
and there we go. So thank you very much. You have now said that my experiment shows what my prediction said would happen, which was based on my hypothesis, which was based on my observation. Game, set, and match. Chess, mate.
Do you understand? I know you have a bit understanding problems, but when you just said
Understanding
the cause-
problems.
Listen, the cause for seeing what you're seeing is due to torque, means that it's not gravity, it's torque.
Incorrect.
Torque is the
What was my
reason you
prediction?
see your acceleration. Do you
Incorrect.
understand-
Incorrect. What was my prediction?
Do you understand that?
Incorrect.
actually
What was my
the-
prediction? What was my prediction, Fatsoid? You're changing what my prediction was. What was my prediction?
Changing the distance, which causes torque.
No. What was my prediction?
You said the distance would move the masses towards each other.
No. My prediction based on my hypothesis. What was it? Very
You
specific.
never had a hypothesis.
I did. I absolutely did. You keep saying this, but that's because you're thick as fuck. But what was my prediction based on my hypothesis?
Everybody in my chat is laughing at you now because
No, everyone in your chat is laughing at you.
Said out of your own mouth. Do you understand?
Everyone in
You're
your right,
saying-
let me go and check.
Okay, let me see. Is Cavendish evidence for gravity? Is Cavendish evidence for gravity?
So I'm looking at your chat now and no one's laughing at me. Why did you lie?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everybody, are you laughing at Craig?
You just
Yes,
said that everyone's
you're-
laughing at
yes.
me. Whilst you've said that, no one's laughing at me.
Up and you'll see. Yes, hey FTFE, yes, talk. Everybody, yeah, FTFE is laughing. Okay, anyway, so would you answer
Yeah,
me?
no one there's
Does
laughing at me. Brilliant.
Does
Right.
is Cavendish evidence for gravity?
Yes, absolutely, because it matches my predictions from my hypothesis, from my observation. Boom, done.
So guys, he just proved that Cavendish is first of all not
Oh,
experimental.
I'm reading your chat now. I'm reading your chat now. Actually, Nicholas Green says nope. Pat in the chat says no. I'm laughing at you, Flatzoid's perspective. Travis says hell no. We're laughing. Blargo says we're laughing at you. According to your chat, they're laughing at you, not me.
No, everybody's laughing at you. I am sure. Oh, it's beyond.
I'm
laughing
reading
at
your
you.
chat, and everyone's laughing at you.
Can you read? I
Yeah.
got this on. Maybe I should.
Pat, I'm reading your
God.
chat now. Pat in the chat. FTFE. I am laughing directly at Flatzoid. Lumpy gas in the vacuum. FTFE. I am beyond laughing at him. Blargo. We're laughing at you, Flatzoid. So yeah, according to your chat, they're laughing at you and not me.
Guys, you do know everybody that's saying yes is laughing at you, Craig.
They're literally saying the words, I am laughing at Flatzoid.
Okay, guys, we're going to put this to a poll. Say 1 for laughing at Craig, 2 for laughing at Flatzoid. How's that sound? Because it seems too much for him to understand what yes means. So
I'm reading
1
the
for
words,
Craig,
we're laughing
2
at
for
you, Flatzoid. I am for sure. I am beyond laughing at him. Hey FTFE, we just witnessed the dismantling of flats. Feel a bit sorry for him. I'm only seeing 2s so far.
Oh, yeah, because those are globe trolls. But I like what they're saying here. Check here. Is gravity real? Out of 226 votes, yes, 59%, no, 41%. That's quite close. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah,
1-1.
they got it right though. Well done, guys.
Everybody that's in here that says 2, even a 3. Wow, wow. 24. Nice one, Logo.
The majority of them are laughing at you, Flatzoid.
And I wonder why, because they soccer counts and trolls.
No, because
You know.
everything you've said is so stupid. You think that torque is a measure of downward force and not a twisting force. You think that the torque applied to the wire in the Cavendish experiment is a result of a change in density. This is fucking hilarious. You don't even know what an IV and a DV is, and you didn't even know you can have multiple IVs in a hypothesis. You disagree with that because you don't like it. But science has always said you can have multiple IVs in a hypothesis. There's no one that's ever said that you can. You guys made that up.
How are you going to get your cause for effect if you have more than one IV? Correct?
You test them
Instead of
both individually in the experiments.
2 different experiments. 2
Yeah,
different hypotheses.
you can do multiple experiments on the same hypothesis. Did you not know that was a thing?
If you have a hypothesis, you stick to the hypothesis. Otherwise,
Yes, and you can do
science.
multiple experiments to test the same hypothesis. Changing the experiment does not change the hypothesis.
Okay. Should we go back to the boiling water one, heat energy?
This is about gravity. Oh, I can debunk your hypothesis, right? I can debunk your hypothesis because your hypothesis was I apply heat energy, water boils. So how come when I pick up a glass of water and apply the heat energy from my hand to it, it doesn't boil?
That's just nonsensical.
No,
You know that
I've just debunked your hypothesis. I
have to
debunked your
add-
hypothesis, did I not?
No,
Was your
because
hypothesis...
you add heat energy and the water will boil.
Yes or no, was your hypothesis apply heat energy, water boils? Yeah?
Yes, but
Oh,
did I
exactly,
say
right?
heat
So
energy?
if I apply the heat energy coming from my hand, because we can all agree there's heat energy coming from my hand, right? When I apply that heat energy to water, why doesn't it boil? I've just debunked your hypothesis.
I thought science is quantitative, is it not?
You didn't state any quantities.
But you have to know if you had heat energy, you have to have enough heat energy to make it boil. Do you not?
That wasn't your hypothesis. Your hypothesis just said heat energy.
Sorry, the cause for the effect. It's not saying enough heat energy. That's just idiotic. That just means you are strawmanning the argument.
No,
and showing
it
you
means
don't
that you didn't
have
form your hypothesis properly because
Show
I
me-
debunked your hypothesis
show me-
by picking up
show
a
me-
glass of water and it failed to boil.
That's just idiotic.
Oh, sorry, do you disagree with me That when I pick up a
Is
glass
that
of water, I'm applying heat energy?
I don't agree. Disagree. You're not giving enough heat energy because that's idiotic.
So you're changing your hypothesis then?
So, have you ever seen someone boil water with their hands?
No? So I debunked
So
your
there we go.
hypothesis.
You're going against observations in reality. You've already debunked yourself.
No, I
Because
debunked
that's
your
not-
hypothesis.
that's
Your
not-
hypothesis... Your
that's not
hypothesis
what
was
you're doing in
simply...
reality.
Your
That's not
hypothesis
what you're
was simply,
doing.
I apply heat energy, the water boils. That is debunked
And-
every time I pick up a glass of water.
No, that's not. It just means you are trying to straw man what the actual hypothesis is.
No, so at what point did I strawman the hypothesis?
Pick up glass of water, therefore not boil. That's not an experiment.
It absolutely can be an experiment.
I'm
I'm applying heat energy. I am applying heat energy as per your hypothesis, and the water isn't
because
boiling.
you're not giving enough heat energy. That's nonsensical. No one is.
But
going
your
to say,
hypothesis
"Boil
didn't
water
say
with
enough
hand."
heat energy. Your hypothesis
Oh, you-
simply said apply heat energy.
So does that mean you have to actually apply enough heat energy to get it?
I don't know. Your hypothesis
Because-
didn't say so.
You're not just going to. Go
Didn't
to
you
a
tell me
stove and
earlier
just
that your hypothesis has to be very
Listen,
clear?
Listen, when you do an experiment, you're not just going to go to a stove and just go on one. Oh, I can see it's not giving enough heat energy, but hey, my hypothesis is not working because I only give little bit. No. You
Yeah,
actually
so
go and
you
give
debunked your
heat
hypothesis. Well
energy
done.
Because that's part of the control.
You didn't state that. You simply said, I apply heat energy to water and it boils. You didn't state anything about amounts or enough or anything. You simply said, I apply heat
Then
energy
you're-
and the water boils. I can debunk that.
Then you've just debunked the whole of science.
No, I haven't.
And
I just
heat energy-
debunked your hypothesis.
No, that wasn't my hypothesis, by the way.
Yes,
That
it was. I asked you and you said yes.
Taken from scientific journals. But anyway, heat energy does boil water. Can you disprove that heat energy does not boil water, Craig?
Yeah, I can disprove heat energy boiling water, yeah.
Show me. Make sure you add enough heat energy, by the way.
Oh, no, that wasn't the thing. You didn't ask that. You simply said, can you disprove heat energy boiling water? Yes, I
You
can.
go to a stove and you put on the kettle. Oh, let's go to the kettle. You boil it. Is the heat energy being transferred to boil it in the kettle?
That wasn't your question.
Okay.
You're changing your
If
question.
You go to the stove, you put a pot of water on, you stick the heat on, and you wait for it to boil. Is there enough heat energy to make it boil?
If I put my stove onto one, it won't
If you
boil.
go to a hot spring in nature and you see it's boiling, is
Flatzoid,
there enough heat
Flatzoid,
to
hold
do
on,
that?
hold on. Flatzoid, if I go to my stove and I put a pot of water on it and I put the stove onto one, it won't boil.
No shit, because you're not giving enough heat energy. That's just not idiot. That's
Did I apply heat energy, yes or no?
Not enough.
No, did I apply heat energy, yes or no?
Not enough. Not enough because
No,
that's
that's
idiotic.
not,
You're going
not enough
back.
isn't part of it. Did I apply heat energy, yes or no?
Not enough.
Yes or no, Flatzoid? It's a yes or no
Not
question.
enough. It's dishonest. It's dishonest to say you're
Oh,
not
no,
applying enough heat energy.
Your
because that's not
hypothesis didn't say anything about enough. Maybe you need to
what-
refine your
what is the boiling
hypothesis.
point of water? What is the boiling point of water, Greg?
72 degrees centigrade.
100 degrees centigrade.
No, it's 72 degrees centigrade, but I just have to read
100
up.
degrees centigrade is the boiling point of water because that's when it goes through phase change.
Well, no, I can make water boil at 72 degrees centigrade.
You can.
Yeah,
Show
in
us
fact,
that.
I can make water boil at 15 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 1 atmospheric pressure. Remember that?
Oh, you
water
didn't
is
say
control.
that, so maybe you need to refine your hypothesis again.
I just told you it was in the control. 1 atmospheric pressure.
No, it wasn't. You didn't say that.
Yes, I did. But
I
anyway,
was
like
literally
I'm
listening.
saying,
You didn't say that.
What? At what temperature does water boil at 1 atmospheric pressure?
Approximately 100 degrees centigrade.
Okay, great. So now you know water boils at that. Okay, that's the set bar. That's the control. You know it boils at that. Why are you going to stick it to 1 and think, oh, it's going to get 100 degrees to watch if it boils?
I never said. Right, your hypothesis said nothing. Your hypothesis said nothing about any of that. These are things that you have added. The problem is
it because you're not putting enough heat
no.
energy because
You're the one changing
Yes.
it. Your hypothesis said nothing about any of those things. Your hypothesis said nothing about the amount of heat.
Water.
Your hypothesis said
Boiling
nothing
water.
about the atmospheric pressure. Your hypothesis, and I got you to confirm this, your hypothesis was simply if you apply heat energy to water, the water boils.
Go back and listen, Craig. Again, boiling water is the key word here at 1 atmospheric pressure. Boiling water requires enough heat energy. So when
Enough
you
heat
apply
energy, yes. Not just heat energy.
It needs enough heat energy to boil. So you're not just going to stick it on one, because then you're ignoring the hypothesis.
No, I'm not. Your hypothesis didn't say about amounts of heat energy.
Sorry?
Your hypothesis said nothing about the amount of heat energy.
It does. What is boiling?
Your hypothesis said nothing about the amount of heat energy to make the water boil.
What is boiling?
Right. Tell me your hypothesis again.
Heat energy causes water to boil at 1 atmospheric pressure.
Okay, I can debunk that.
What is water boiling? What is water boiling? Does that have a certain amount of energy needed to have it boiling?
Yeah, but you didn't say that. You didn't say that. You just said heat energy makes water boil. You didn't say, you did not say, hold on. You did not say an amount of heat energy makes water boil. You simply said at 1 atmospheric pressure, heat energy will make water boil. That was it.
Constitutes enough heat energy, because water boiling.
No, it doesn't. That's not what you said. That's not what you said at all. That is not what you said at all.
What is water boiling, Craig?
Water boiling is a phase change, but you never said that.
Does it have a certain amount of temperature to get that phase change?
Yeah, but that wasn't your hypothesis. Your hypothesis
energy.
didn't say anything about amount. Your hypothesis didn't say that. You are changing your hypothesis.
I don't need to say the amount, because water
yes, you
boiling
do.
is the amount.
Because I can debunk your hypothesis easily.
You're simply ignoring boiling water. The word
No, I'm not.
boiling water means enough heat energy.
Your hypothesis is that heat energy will make water boil. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Let's do your distance one again. If you change the distance, would it give an effect? What if I don't change the distance?
Well, if you don't change the distance, then you haven't manipulated the IV.
It's the same with the heat energy. You don't add enough heat energy, you're not going to manipulate the IV.
What's the IV in your hypothesis?
Heat energy causes water to boil. The water
No.
boiling.
What is the IV in your hypothesis?
Heat energy.
Just heat energy. That it?
Yeah, but you know the DV is water boiling. That means you have to add enough of it to make it boil, because water
You didn't
boils
say
at
that.
a certain temperature. You're just ignoring what water boiling is.
You didn't say that. You just the
say
words that came out of your mouth are this, all right? And tell me if I'm strawmanning you here, right? But the words that came out of your mouth are at 1 atmospheric pressure, heat energy will make water boil. Is that correct?
Correct, because heat energy applied does cause water to boil. You're ignoring the word water boiling.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to see if that is true, right? Because
boiling-
your hypothesis is simply
boiling is
that
a
something
constituent-
causes something else, right? So if I can test that by applying heat energy and it not making the water boil, I've disproven your hypothesis.
No, you are just
Yes!
strawmanning and ignoring what water boiling is.
Is water boiling the IV or the DV?
Go to any flippin' university or anybody and tell them, listen, if I add heat energy, water does not boil. Please go, so they can laugh at you. Go.
Yeah, no, they'd agree with me that I can apply heat energy and not make water boil.
As soon as you're saying water boil, it means it has to go through a phase change. That means you have to add enough heat energy. It's just logical inference. It's not...
Oh, I'm sorry, but do hypotheses contain logical inference, or is that just you not defining your hypothesis correctly?
It is defined. Boiling water. Are you so dumb?
Boiling water is your DV. It is the effect.
Energy.
But you didn't say enough heat energy. That wasn't your words.
What is boiling water? Define boiling water for us, please, Craig.
I already did that. Asked and answered.
What is define boiling water? Because then
Asked and
it's going to
answered.
debunk your whole argument. Oh, so boiling water is what?
Oh, one sec. That guy. No, I know I've trapped him on gravity, so he had to change the subject. I'm fine with that. I know I've destroyed him on gravity, so he's had to change the subject. So now I'm destroying him on his stupid hypothesis. So don't think I've let him sliver away. I allowed that to happen to show how scared he was about the gravity, the conversation.
Listen here, Craig. First of all, you haven't defined gravity.
I don't need to. Who?
Cavendish.
Citation that says I need to define gravity, please.
Cavendish is not an experiment, only a demonstration.
Incorrect. It's an experiment.
You've shown that you cannot even understand what torque is.
Incorrect. The engineer knows exactly what torque is.
And you've shown that
you didn't even know what it was measured in or how it's created.
You cannot prove that acceleration can be caused without something physical, because gravity is not a force. Heck, you can't even define what it is.
Right, again, can I have a citation that says I need to define what gravity is, please?
So you don't even know how to read an hypothesis because you don't understand what boiling water means. So you have to straw man with idiotic...
Here we go. So Jeffrey Sloan in my chat actually gives a very good point. So I can give an infinite amount of heat energy to water without it boiling if the time it takes to give the energy is slower than the water is releasing that energy. So... it's actually fairly easy to debunk your hypothesis.
Say again?
Well, all of it?
Yeah, say again.
So, I can give an infinite amount of heat energy, and the water wouldn't boil if the time it takes to give the energy is slower than the water releasing the energy.
Okay. Remember I did a video where I took a hot pot and I threw...
Did you listen to what I said? Did you listen to what I said?
What? And what happened? Did it stop boiling straight away?
Did you listen to what I said? Did you listen to the words that I said?
What has time got to do with this hypothesis?
I'm just saying that I can debunk your hypothesis by applying that heat energy really slowly.
Heat energy. You know how much that is.
But your hypothesis didn't state that.
I'm sorry, I just debunked that because a pot of... and I throw the water in, it's already heated up, it's going to start boiling in.
Right, no, you haven't debunked anything because I can literally apply an infinite amount of heat. Right, listen to these words, Flatzoid. I could apply an infinite amount of heat energy to water and it wouldn't boil.
Please show me that.
All we have to do is do it slowly enough. All we have to do is do it slowly enough that the time to impart the energy isn't as fast as the water is releasing the energy. And I've debunked your hypothesis once again.
You know when you eventually get to a certain amount, it's going to boil.
No,
matter how slow
absolutely not. Not at all. Not if the energy being imparted is slower than the energy being released.
How long? Okay, let's take a hot spring for instance. How long does it take for it to start?
A hot spring is doing it a lot faster. My point is that I can apply an infinite amount of heat energy over a very long period of time and the water will never boil because the energy stored in the water will be released faster than the heat energy can impart energy to the molecules in the water.
You know, you said infinite energy. That means it can be 10,000 degrees. Do you understand that?
No.
What does infinitely mean then?
And infinite just means a lot, forever. So I could apply. Listen. I could apply 0.2 degrees of heat energy for an infinite amount of time.
I didn't say anything about
a literal infinite amount of heat energy.
The hypothesis.
No, I haven't changed the hypothesis. I'm following your hypothesis.
Parallel and all FTEs are snakes. 100% agree, Godzilla. You do know
I'm literally following your hypothesis, right?
It's at 12 o'clock and I must get up for work in like 4 hours.
All right,
so
okay, no worries.
Forever, but I have to just say thank you, Craig, for showing you absolutely have no idea what gravity is.
And I'll take things that didn't happen for 500, please, Regis.
So yeah.
Flatzoid, it has been fun. I do appreciate you taking the time. I hope that your internet issues and that get sorted. And you know what? The fact that your fans have supported you for the uninterruptible power supply is actually awesome. You know I think you're an idiot, and I know that you think I'm an idiot, but I'm glad that we can have these conversations, and I would actually love to continue it at some point down the line, because I think talking to you is infinitely fun, and I need a bit more material for your episode of Flerfs are Idiots. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in, displaying your lack of scientific knowledge. Thank you very much.
Okay. I really do appreciate your performance of, how can I put it, looking in the mirror and projecting onto me. So thanks.
Brilliant. Take it easy. Speak to you later. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Toon, you want to pop on? I'm just going to send Toon a wee link, see if he can come on for a chat. That was fun. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I did notice how he stopped talking about gravity and wanted to go back to his last thing because I destroyed him on gravity. I had a lot of fun on that stream. Honestly, a lot of fun. Alright, Toon's coming on, so we'll have a wee chat with him. Guys, super chats. Wow, so many. Thank you very much. There was like 624 watching at one point, which is also pretty awesome. And I see I've got 2 new members as well, which is always amazing. Yeah, you're right, Parallels Decoy. World of Akelia, I have to. Dude, if I don't, I would go insane. Go on, Toon, I've sent you the invite. Once Toon's on and we'll have a chat, I'll read super chats. I hope you liked seeing my daughter at the beginning as well. That was fun. She wanted to come on and say hello. Cute little thing, isn't she? I love her to bits. Like, you know, we're going swimming, and she's growing so much that we had to buy her a new swimming costume. And she's only 9, right? But the swimming costume we had to buy her was 13 to 14-year-old. Like, is there a way to stop your kids growing or something? Because, what the fuck, man? Pat in the chat, are you kidding? He has subscriber only on. Is that right? Oh my goodness. Hey, Sholiitis, I'm glad that I can do it as well. Just waiting for Toon to join. Right, so one thing you guys may have noticed is that I haven't done the launch for my Kickstarter yet. And there's actually a good reason, and that's because it's not ready. Simple. I want to do this properly, and there's a lot of finances, a lot of expenses that need, I need to find exactly how much things are going to cost before I do the Kickstarter to be asking for the amount of money that I'm going to, because, look, it's going to be around 25 grand per documentary that I want to make. That's how much I think it's going to cost. So yeah, but I want to get like pricings and stuff, camera crews that I'm hiring, etc., etc. Hello, Mr. Toon. How the devil are we? Can't hear him. Can see him, but I cannot hear him. Well, oh, yay. Why aren't I going on there? Okay, one sec. You should be coming through on my ends. Why is my mic not working? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
The NBI tech stopped working for some reason. Now, are you coming through on my side is the question.
Yes. I hear me. I hear me when I talk because I'm in my own head.
Oh, well, that's the best place to be, I've heard.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's the best place to be, I've heard. Oh, now I hear me. What's going on?
You hear you in your own head, too? That's crazy.
No, I hear me in your head.
How do you hear me in your head?
Well, I've just had a 2-hour conversation with Flatzoid, all right? Do you want me to make sense?
Oh my goodness, NASA's going to have to send you some tabs.
Oh, God, like... I only realised halfway through that he doesn't actually know what the Cavendish experiment is.
I think that has become apparent. He must think that there's something vertically instead of horizontally happening.
Yeah, because that he's saying that the cause of the torque on the wire is a change in density and the fact there's nothing underneath them, but that's the entire point of the experiment, is that it's all got the same downwardness acting on it, whatever they want to call it, you know?
Yeah, it's controlled because it's on the torsion wire.
Yeah.
It's the torsion balance. It's controlled the vertical acceleration, the downward acceleration.
Yeah.
Not you don't want to presume it's gravity. It's
That's what
testing whether or not it is.
Yeah.
So
he thinks that torque, which we know is a measure of twisting, right? So if I'm twisting it like this, it's putting torque on that point. But he thinks the twisting torque is caused by something being pulled down. He thinks that's what's causing the torque.
It must be.
But I mean that's not torque. That would be a measure of snap. In physics, that's literally a term. You know, a snap is a term that you can measure. The amount of snap that something has is the measure of how much it can resist being pulled vertically. You know, that's not torque. It's a different thing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I don't even want to play that game. Cavendish is a measurement of the strength of gravity.
Yeah.
It's just a measurement. You don't need to call it an experiment. It is. No. You don't need to. It's just a measurement.
But it can be, if you want to do their whole mantra of following the scientific method, it can absolutely meet the criteria of an experiment. And that's the thing. That may not be its original reason, why it was devised. Yeah, it was about measuring the density of the Earth and everything. But if you want to follow the steps of the scientific method, it's an experiment to test the prediction.
Their particular, very specific and narrow version of the scientific method.
The one you learn in high school that you then learn later on isn't the only thing,
Or middle school.
Yeah, middle school, yeah.
The poor guy.
Apparently Flatzoid's looking to not debate me due to copyright strikes from my music.
In the future?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have epidemic sounds on my music, but I didn't think he'd be playing my intro. So, I mean, all he's got to do is cut my intro out. That's it.
When you went to the bathroom, you played some music.
That is from YouTube's library.
Okay.
This one,
I saw his chat was complaining.
Yeah, that's YouTube's library.
Yeah.
I think you use that one as well.
Yeah, the YouTube library stuff is good for YouTube.
Yeah.
It's no good for TikTok, though. So don't try to take it to TikTok.
No. That guy says that Flatzoid is on to debunk you next, MC Toon.
He mentioned that in the comments of my recent video on the Conspiracy Tunes channel, where I applied perspective to do a measurement of something not in the sky, right? An actual thing. And it worked. And then I applied it to flat Earth perspective for the sun elevation. And somehow he thinks it's wrong. I said, well, will you show the application in reality like I did? Certainly he won't.
No, of course
he'll just make up some stuff of what he says is the right way to apply perspective, but he won't be able to show how it works in reality. Just like Gleam, if you really want to see some vomit, Gleam is in the chat there thinking that he knows all about perspective.
Wait,
but of
Gleam's
course,
still here? I didn't know Gleam was the thing. What accounts are you using?
Gleam.
I don't see him in the chat.
No. In the chat of my perspective.
Right, okay. Yeah.
The video where I applied perspective. Anyway, Gleam has these. It's so funny. He has these papers, these psychology papers that are like, well, human perception of distance is, and perspective is incorrect. Like, okay, that's not what I was using. But you go ahead, Gleam. Show
Psychology
me the right
and
way
mathematics are very different things.
Yeah, and measurements, right? I'm just doing a measurement, applying, triangulation, but.
Apparently,
Anyway.
Tomato Girl Zumi is getting a lot of buffing. I've got like excellent connection and stuff, so I don't think it's on my end. Try shutting down your browser and reopening. That usually sorts out buffering for me. Sorry if you're experiencing buffering.
Looks fine to me.
But right, one thing that I've loved about debating Flatzoid the past 2 times, right, is getting him to read out citations. Because he'll get halfway through the citation, realize it disagrees with him, and then change to, well, this is a pseudoscience citation. Because not a single citation that he ever reads out actually agrees with him. Like, in fact, they fully debunk him, usually in the first couple of sentences.
Well, that's Toon's law of Flerf number 1. Flatty citations always contradict the Flerf.
It's brilliant. Like, you know, I know you dislike it when I play their scientific method games, but I do that for a reason, because that's what they base their entire thing around, right? But I'm trying to show them that they don't even know how to do their own mantra.
Yeah, even when you apply their own ridiculous method,
like, how many times
still doesn't work for them.
How many times did Flatzoid confuse the IV and the DB in that conversation? Like,
for him, it's anything, everything must be denied. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
to him.
Like, I can show him citation after citation, and he's like, "Well, I just don't agree with that citation." Well, science doesn't give a fuck if you agree or not.
The Cavendish experiment was called the Cavendish experiment more than 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And no scientist since then has said, well, that's not an experiment because it didn't whatever. Nobody says that, except for science deniers who desperately need to deny that it is an experiment or that it is science because it completely destroys their magic flying space pizza.
Yeah. Well, let's ask the most science Flerf that there is, good old John. John, what do you think about it?
Bagaki.
I'm an idiot.
I'm a stupid
moron with an ugly face and a big butt,
I
and
have to
my butt
take
smells, and I'd like to kiss my own
butt.
I'm an idiot.
Bagaki. Bagaki.
I'm an idiot.
Oh, I think Toon had to go there for a second. Yeah, so that was absolutely amazing. Plenty of clips for Flatzoid's episodes of Flerfs Are Idiots. So the next episode, which is going to be out in well, I need to finish the script and record and edit it, but hopefully it'll be out by the end of this weekend, will be the second part to Emma debunking TikTok Jenny. And then the one after is going to be about the Great Flerf War of 2022. And then I'd like to do QMV video with Toon. And then I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Creaky Blinder. And in amongst all that, I'm getting all my Kickstarter stuff sorted. But that's, like I said, I'm not going to bring out the Kickstarter and everything until it's really, really ready. Because I want to be able to say, look, this is where the money's going. Because I'm going to be asking for a lot of money. It's not money for me. No, I'm not going to be putting it in PayPal. It's not like, it's the Kickstarter to fund the documentary that I want to do. And like I said, based on what I've been looking at, hiring camera crews, having people look at my work, paying people, I'm looking at around 25 grand per documentary. And it'll all be explained when I do the Kickstarter and the launch. I want it to be out soon, but like I said, I want it to be right. Because there's going to be certain people looking at it going, oh, he's doing a fundraiser for loads of money. And I don't want them to I don't want to give them anything. So when I do this, it's going to be done right. Toon, you said you give me 10 grand towards it, right?
What? Yeah, I will give 10,000 of Flat Out Heroes money that he owes me.
Right, and can I use that to pay camera crews?
You'll have to contact him, but he said he's good for it, so I'm sure.
Right, he said he's good. No worries.
Yeah. But yes, I will definitely take part.
So, the documentary, right? There's going to be 2 experiments being done. We two groups of physics students and engineering students from Edinburgh Uni. One group is going to be working with me, and we're going to be doing a new Cavendish experiment. We're going to have a Cavendish built that's inside a Faraday cage, inside a vacuum chamber, right? And we're going to show the whole process.
Is there bismuth around it, or just Maybe just pour Pepto-Bismol over the whole thing?
Yeah, possibly. But I want to,
block the heavenly energies.
we're going to talk about why we're doing it this way and show the process of having it, and and why we're doing that. But the second group of students are going to be going with Emma up to Schehallien, Mount Schehallien, and redoing the Schehallien experiment, which is going to be a lot of fun. But that's obviously things we need money for as well, for getting the bus to go up there, for the equipment being built, insurance and everything. These things, doing what I want to do isn't cheap, we're also, there's a couple of celebrities that could possibly be in it, including Neil deGrasse Tyson, Kyle Hill, some other very big YouTubers, and a lot of actual, high-end science being explained about what gravity is, but in my normal kind of fun, stupid ways. So I hope you all will support that. But like I said, I'm not gonna do the Kickstarter and release it until it's completely ready. All right. So if it takes a while, just bear with me. But I'm going to be asking for a lot of money, so it needs to be done right.
I can't wait.
I'm excited as well. It's something that's taken a lot of planning and a lot of my time, and it's bigger than anything that I've ever thought about doing. It's totally a new thing for me. I may even think about a new channel for that kind of thing. I'm not sure yet, but but anyway, Flatzoid, eh? What a fucking idiot.
I don't know if you are going to vote top left for him, but I don't know how anybody. We're getting it's October. There's not a lot of time left, Flatties. If any of you Flatties want to really unseat Flatzoid, you're going to have to kick it into high gear.
The two standouts at the moment for me, I would say, are Flatzoid and TikTok Jenny.
Oh my gosh.
However, I'm pretty sure that my wife and I have chased Jenny off of TikTok, because 2 days after releasing my video, she not only deleted her TikTok, but her Facebook, her Instagram, and her YouTube. I'm claiming victory. I'm claiming victory.
I don't know. Maybe she's hooking up with Dollar Store Jesus, because he was hitting on her. He was hitting on her in that Smartest Flerf game show I did.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Flat Earth Banjo's got a bit of a soft spot or a hard spot maybe for.
Yeah, definitely either a soft or hard spot, or both.
Flat Earth Dweller says that Globebusters are going to have a field day ripping my documentary apart.
It's so cute you think that.
I hope they try, because my response will be fucking amazing. In fact, you know what? I'd straight out pay Professor Dave to do the response.
Oh my gosh, the amount of stupid that comes out of Bob Nodell's mouth is so amazing. But it's a higher quality of stupid than just the regular Flatzoid stupid.
So the claim about Bob that I'm getting from a lot of the Flerfs at the moment is that he took his gyroscope and he went up different elevations, and whilst at different elevations they got different amounts of rotation per hour off of it, blah, right? But why has no one ever seen this data? Ever?
Well, yeah, and what did they do to control for confounding variables? Also, the conclusion would be not that it didn't measure rotation, but that there was still rotation measured, but the error bars were larger. That's the natural conclusion you'd make from it.
Yeah.
If a device designed to measure rotation, when it measures no rotation, would be when you say there's no rotation. But when it still measures rotation, you would say it's still measuring rotation.
But this is what they're pushing about. How come Bob got these different readings, blah, blah. What I'm saying straight up now, Bob didn't. Bob is a liar. That data does not exist, because if it did, Bob would be shoving it down our throats. It wouldn't just be hidden in a little Discord somewhere. It would be everywhere. There would be a Flat Earth movie about it starring Eric Dubé. It would be the ultimate Flerf point. But it didn't happen, because that data doesn't exist. I've been told they talked about it on a stream. Oh, great.
Oh, they talked about it. Okay.
Yeah. I was told there was a
Publish
photo
it.
of. I was told there was a
Publish.
photo of the display. Brilliant. So, how about you publish your data, claim your Nobel Prize? You know, it doesn't exist, and any flat earther who tells me it does has been lied to.
Well, all flat earthers have been lied to and believed it.
Yeah. Got to lie to Flerf, Toon. Got to lie to Flerf.
Yes. Hey, that's a good. Mandel's wondering, when did Mind of God declare
don't you
his
worry.
5 years?
I've got a countdown. He has
coming up.
14 months left. And in
Yeah.
14 months, he has to come on my channel. Not
And
only admit
burn.
that the Earth is a globe,
Yeah.
but burn a Bible.
If, and he was saying, because he was claiming that the rapture's coming, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go. Well, that's all right. We got that. Now, you know what October is, Craig? That's the birthday for both of our channels.
It is. So, 4 years,
4
eh?
years.
4 years. And I'm literally half the man I was. Well, it's funny, right? Because when I first started, I was on the opioids and still that I was being prescribed, right? So I was relatively slim and I had my bald head, right? But then I changed my medication and I put on a whole bunch of weight. So I went from being quite slim to being huge during, like, when my channel was taken off and I was getting a couple 100,000 views and stuff, to now being relatively, you know, I'm not thin, but, you know, I've lost a lot of weight. So you look back from my videos, it's like, you can see me going, ooh, woo, woo.
That happens.
Yeah. Oh. George says, I haven't aged a day in the 4 years. I've aged 30 years.
You know, I gotta say, you don't look a day over 53. So
Thanks.
good
Thank
on
you.
you. Yeah.
I'm only 39. Roundthinker says, is Stupidity Not
sorry.
Right coming back sometime? Yeah, with a new format, and new teams and everything, it will. I enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of hard work to produce that show. Like, a lot of hard work. But it will be coming back with a slightly different format. Probably not until next year, though. Because I've got a lot of things that I am working on.
The documentary is more important.
Yeah.
Oops, I messed up.
The documentary is something that's going to be constantly going on in the background, but obviously I need to keep pumping out the content, you know, separately here as well. Toon, this documentary, it's going to be... I'm really looking forward to doing it. I really, really am looking forward to doing it. Before I do it, I really want to get a stream, and I want to get Clive Wells, PhD Tony, Professor Philip Bell, what's his name? Rob Parks.
Rob Parks?
And Professor Dave. Rob Parks debated Stephen Moore about gravity. I think he's a professor as well. I want to get like a bunch of really smart people to talk with me about gravity, to go over my, you know, what I plan to do, get any kind of feedback from them, and I think that would be a good stream to do, with me just talking with a bunch of people that are way smarter than me. Which would be a change from, you know.
Oh, the Flerfs.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Oh, guess what I got on Saturday? I got Billy Santo again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he says that he's done all the research and is going to destroy me so bad I will delete my channel.
Oh, of course. You've never heard that before.
No, not 600 odd times at all. Oh, I didn't even get to bring up the big gravity thing that I've been researching. That's what I was asking you for the papers for, because
Yeah.
so military submarines, okay, they need to be stealthy, and even when they're running silent and using sonar, they can still be detected because the sonar's not passive. You know, it puts out waves of energy.
Yeah.
So how does a submarine steer when it's underwater? How does it know what's there? Okay, there's no windows or anything. You got like dead reckoning navigation, whereas you know which way you were heading, you roughly know what's there. You just kind of like, we've gone this far, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
But
and GPS doesn't work deep underwater. The signals don't get there.
So how do submarines navigate? How do they know they're not going to crash into underwater mountains? Well, the answer is they use gravity. I wanted to show a paper from Lockheed Martin about their university gravity module, which is on board military submarines. And it's basically just a gravimeter encased within some compression artifacts that measure the gravitational potential below the submarine to tell you if there's a big-ass mountain that you're going to crash into. It's the perfect way to stay stealthy and be able to navigate in real time.
Yeah, to miss crashing into stuff.
Yeah, and it's literally a physical, practical application of using gravity measurements in real time. And I actually I wanted to go through that with Flatzoid to see how he denied it.
Oh, he won't. Yeah, he'll declare that he's smarter than the people that designed submarines.
Yeah. Right, what you got coming up?
Let's see. I'm on somebody else's channel for Tuesday night at 8 p.m. A guy that is on TikTok. He invited me on. I'm like, all right, I'll do that at 8. And then so I have a debate at 6. So before that, with the guy that messaged me, this might be like a really civil debate at 6 o'clock next week. So look for that. Now, have you seen the stuff? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just noticed that Professor Philip Bell put Flatzoid did his surgery poll at the end. Did Craig prove gravity? 74% said yes. Oh, Flatzoid. Oh, dude. Oh,
poor guy. All right. Well, hey, now, thank you everybody for voting in his poll. I'm sure he appreciates it. But if he does have, you can't comment unless you're a subscriber. So if you did subscribe to him so that you could comment, and it wasn't something that you wanted to leave on,
you can undo
being
that,
subscribed, then I'm just reminding you that you might want to take this opportunity to unsubscribe, should that be what you want to do.
Yeah. I can't believe he has subscriber only on in the chat. I mean, that limits the people that can come in and chat.
He's pressing for more subscribers.
But to be fair to Flatzoid, he has decided to venture outside of his own echo chamber and come and talk to us, right? Which is, flat earthers are idiots, but that's something that I have to give props to because their main thing is avoiding us, like the plague,
Yeah.
So props to Flatzoid for doing that. It's probably not going to work out that well for you, but,
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to get him on, get on with him sometime here. I've got things fall into place. People have actually reached out. They want to debate me. That Chris Van Am guy. Oh my gosh,
so scared of me.
He won't debate you.
How about we do a live stream and go over the chat?
Oh my gosh, he's so dumb.
He doesn't. He thinks the snow isn't ice.
He really does. So stupid.
I mean,
know that snow is ice. He lives in Canada and he denies that snow is ice.
He's like, it's formed differently. No one's denying that it's formed differently, but it's literally frozen water vapor, which is ice.
He's like, is methanol the same as diethyl ether or something like that? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Is diamonds the same as graphite? Well, 100% chemically identical, I guess,
They're solid carbon.
Yeah.
They're carbon in the solid phase, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but no, he won't debate me. But that's all right.
He was pressed into it, we think, by some of the longtime Facebook troll Flerfs. Because as soon as that debate got done, the next day, Simon Ramos sends me a message that he demands to debate me.
Oh,
which is
really?
one of the longtime Facebook trolls. Yeah, and I said, absolutely. Here's the format we'll use because he can't not talk. Or he's super
he was on mine once,
yeah, he won't not stop talking. I'm like, all right, well then what's going to happen is there's a moderator and only one of us are unmuted at a time, and we both present supporting evidence for our shape of the Earth. You're first, and he ran away.
Oh, of course. He came on once when I debated 5 flat earthers at once, and he was one of the 5.
jeez.
And that was fun. But I am going to read super chats and get out of here. Toon, thank you
All
for
right.
coming on. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the debate. I tried to please you.
There
I
were
want nothing
times.
more than to
There
please
were,
you.
there were painful times. Oh my gosh, Flatzoid. But yep. Thanks
And
for having me
if
on.
you got that, if you got that clip, send it to me because that's going to be a good one.
Well, I'll download his. Let me see. I'll download it right away.
All right, well, I'll catch you later, Toon. Guys, if you're not subscribed to MC Toon, go
right.
and sort that shit out right now.
We'll see.
See you later. Bye. People, I've had a lot of fun tonight. Time to read super chats because you guys have sent me so many. If I don't do it now, I will never be able to stop the stream because you keep sending me more super chats, and then I have to read more. I'm not complaining. What? I love you. 3 new members. Wow. Paradise Decoy for £2 says, pardon me. He doesn't say that. That was me burping. He says, question for flat earthers: who cleans the dome? There's a large company. They're top secret. You're not allowed to know about it. Tomato Girl Zumi for $2 says, cloning went fine, right? I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, the cloning is absolutely the cloning's fine. Well, I'm not actually the clone. The FTFE you guys see during live streams is I'm actually an AI program with the FTFE intelligence installation. The clone is still being made. POW seems to be given a lot of attention to this clone. I'm not sure why. I don't know if that's a good thing that POW's doing that. Anyway. Boaty McBokeface, who's been a member for 27 frickin' months. Flatzoid, give Red his 13 frames back. Got a lie to Flerf. It was 11, but yes, he does need to give those back. Andreas Eldritch, 50 sex, all the sex. Too bad this debate is about gravity, otherwise I would have asked him if the sun set slightly north or south of due west this time of year. Excuse me. Stringfellow Hawk for $5. When Flatzoid said to go back to step 1, he meant the 5th grade to learn about basic science. He argued with me that this is an acceleration. Just think about that, guys. The Sun Express, $5, says the futility of silly Flerfs can't even make shit up properly. Can't even stick to their own things as well. Rach Bot, my favourite AI on the internet, says for $10 Australian, Gravity, you fucking retard. Haven't you heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity! Do I even have that in here? Yeah, here we go.
Gravity, you fucking
Why'd you freeze, Desertfile?
retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
Yes, gravity. Lord Luminous Pooh for $2 says, we don't care if you agree, you're still wrong. Yes, Flatzoid. Science doesn't care if you agree with it. You are not the arbiter of what is pseudoscience. Lance Jess Ellis for $5 says, my master's in physics, which is being used by the US Air Force to track satellites, was a correlative study in multi-spectrum observations, science. Every time a flat earther tells me there's no correlations in science, I want to punch myself in the face. Tim Tully, member for 15 months, says, you and Emma do good work. Thank you. She makes me want to be better. She makes me want to be a better person because she's awesome. Did you guys happen to see the update I did to the thumbnail for her video? Let me show. 2 secs. Okay. So, what you're seeing right now, it was the original thumbnail, and then here was the updated one. Which one do you prefer? Let me know, guys. Do you prefer this one, number 1, or do you prefer this one, number 2? Let me know which thumbnail you thought was better. 1 or 2. I prefer 2 for some reason. Yeah, 2. 1 was good, but I mean, the hottest person on this is the one on the right. I'd much rather have her because she's fucking gorgeous. The other one's just like a bimbo. Yeah, sex does sell. Lord Luminous Proof $2 says, I bet he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. Nobody knows how to use the 3 seashells. Tim Tully, $10. No scientific theory has ever been disproven because of semantics. No, or claiming fallacy. Shouting fallacy at things does not dismiss science. Lord Luminous Poo for $2 says, we did this last time, and you're still here. Yeah. Yes, last time, Flatzoid, we figured out that science doesn't prove, yet you still say it does. Gaming with both hands, $5. Please put what he's showing on screen. The level of brain damage requires visual aids. He, for some reason, can't split his camera to send me his feed. So I couldn't, but I do apologise about that. Then we've got BFEF, who is a new member. Thank you very much, buddy. Welcome to Scrappers. It means the world. You fucking awesome person, you. Stringfellow Hawk for $5. Flatzoid doesn't realise that the attractive force will always exist, but it could be too small to measure, just like his brain. Yeah, when flat earthers go, oh, well, I've got this, and I've got this. Why aren't they? How are we the same species? Lance Jess Elias for $2 says it's density. The flat earther mating call. Density, density, dark, dark. Cap Q57 in the chat says I should let Emma do all the videos. She's much nicer to look at. I agree. I'd much rather look at her than me. I mean, you saw my daughter at the beginning, right? You can tell where the looks came from. Lord Luminous Poo, $2. Dost thou even hoist, brother mine? DFE for $5. Send into the remedial classroom and teach him about density. Don't worry, Flatzoid will be going to the remedial classroom in his episode of Flerfs for Idiots. I think he's going to be episode 76. So, yeah, I've got a few to do. I'm going to try and get that out by this month, though. Lance Jess Elias for $2. He's only going to understand it. It's in crayon. No, he would eat them. Luke Filewalker, member for 18 months, says... Oh, God, it skipped. Dun, dun, dun. Under pressure. Oh, no, wait, hold on. It's dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Under pressure. I get it now. Stringfellow Hawk, $5. Excuse me. Sorry, I apologise. Stephen Hawk, $5, says, Flatzoid, if you weigh yourself on a scale on Earth and take that same scale to Mars, why does it show a lower number? I'd love to take the Flat Earthers to Mars. Leave them there. Dave Fear for $5 says, Craig, tie a string to the middle of a pen to demonstrate Cavendish torque. Yeah, I should have. Lord Luminous Poo, $5. I use these debates as a sanity litmus test. If the Flerf makes sense, increase medication. Yeah, you never want a flat earther to start making sense, guys. Fuck me. Mike Hurdy, £4.49. Flatzoid is a walking warning poster of the dangers and effects of sniffing glue. Every brain cell in his head is either dead or dying. I'm not going to argue with you. Pat in the chat for $5. I feel dirty. I had to subscribe to Flatzoid's channel to enter the chat, but it was well worth it. Yeah, his chat is mostly Globers making fun of him. Holy Smalls for $10. If you need a camera crew for the documentary, you know a professional video taker guy. He has experience in documentaries and plenty of degrees and is outstanding in his field, JM Truth. Yeah, let's get JM Truth to do my documentary, shall we? Should we have a look at JM Truth's body of work, see what his filmmaking skills are like? What do you reckon? Do you want a quick look at that, guys? Do you? You know you do. If I can find it. Where is it? Oh no, I've lost JM. I mean, that's probably not a bad thing, losing JM Truth, but you know. We'll show it another time. Where is it? Why is it not there? Well. Lance Jess Elias for $5 and MC Toon, so sorry I missed your opportunity to reach out. I rewatched the stream today. I'm pulling down my old Astro pics now and will be sending. Toon will appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sorry, one sec. I want to find that now. It's bugging me. Oh, I think I've deleted his movie. I'm sad. I mean, I'm not... No, I found it! I found it! I found it! Ha! Stan, freeze! Something's coming! Best zombie movie ever. Zombies are T-Rexes, guys. I wonder if the actors have ever watched this back and thought, what the fuck did I do? What's with the sound, man? Seriously. Stringer News 1, who he gifted a membership. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Stringer News 1, one of the most awesome supporters of the channel. There was a point in the channel where it would have died if it wasn't for his help. Stringer News 1, fucking love you. $5 from Stringer News 1 says, I pledged 2,500 Vietnamese dong to your project, Craig. I don't want dongs. Is that money? Because I don't want dongs. Please don't send me a bunch of dongs. Thank you very much, bud. LBS for $5 Canadian says, here's your first $5. Thank you very much, but the Kickstarter will not be done through YouTube because I need all the money to do that. YouTube don't get 30%. Pilo1408 for $5 and another one bites the dust. Good hunting, FTFE. Thank you very much. Beaver0 can smell him from here. $2 Canadian says same great beaver taste, 0 calories. Let them know. If you don't know, our good friend, the brainiest of beavers, is no longer a brainy beaver. He is a beaver 0. That's like, I guess, you know, patient 0, but for beavers, I'm not sure. Anyway, make sure you're subscribed to Beaver 0 for all the smelly beaver you need. Andreas Eldritch 56 says, I'm a little old-fashioned. Will you release a documentary on DVD? Yes. Yeah, I plan to. Absolutely 100%. I'm even going to be approaching streaming platforms and stuff because it's not my YouTube standard. This is going to be, you know, TV shit. Tim Pryor, $10 says, how have you not got blocked on Flatzoid's channel? Oh God, where'd it go? He blocked me 3 times, asked me once I wanted to talk, then blocked me so I couldn't answer. Flerfs, gotta love him. No, the other thing. Indie Tiger Sci-Fi Review, $5. Professor Parks, PhD, is Rob Parks' channel. Yep. Rob's been very critical of me in the past, which I appreciate, because that's the way I get better. If I said something wrong, then fucking tell me so I can be right. I don't want to be wrong. And that's the difference between people like me and flat earthers, is I like to be corrected. You know? If I've got something wrong, and there's someone with more knowledge that can tell me why I'm wrong, then I want to hear that shit. Because I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, Rob Parks is awesome. Ted Lacoa for $19.99 US. Thank you very much, buddy. It means the world. The great thing about the heat energy thing is that he makes the assumption of boiling water temperature within his own hypothesis. The very thing he complained of with gravity. The cognitive dissonance is amazing. Yes. Yes, it is. Stringer News 1, who's been a member for 32 months, says 4 more years. 4 more years. Don't worry. FTFE is here to stay. Astro Smart, member for 5 months, says best movie I've ever seen. Yeah, gotta love JM Truth. Outstanding in his field. Tomato Girl Zoomy for $2. Try that JM scene with Yakety Sex. Guys, you're amazing. I love you all. And as a thank you, here is JM Truth, outstanding in this field.
Now that I think about it, the sun, we're told, is a big gaseous ball burning in space in a vacuum. By the way, since we're on the subject of vacuums, fire, the element by which the sun exerts its energy, and I don't care if it's nuclear fission or what, it's still fire, needs what element, folks, in order to continue to burn? Oxygen.
Yes, JM, gotta love you. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat, 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 Thanks very much for watching, guys. I love you, you're amazing. If not before, I will see you on Saturday for my debate with Billy Santos. I've got an episode of Debate Shorts I can get out. In fact, I'll put that out tomorrow. See you all soon. Lots of love. The Craig. Good night all. Love ya.